Hey, we're on time.
Yahoo!
Imagine that.
What's good?
Hey.
Pillagers in the chat. Right now, my live chat's not showing, but it's all good. It's all good. I know you're there.
I see the live chat filled up a lot more.
I know you're there.
All right. Roll call. Hardcore Raider in the house. Raider Rue in the house. Damage Incorporated. Our big brother Juice. What's happening? Of course, Shorty V doing the damn thing. The good doc, Dr. No. He said, no. Tim Brown. Brown. Raider Rue in the building.
Hey, Shorty was talking about putting in just 1 hour of sleep or something like that, man, because he was talking about staying up this time.
Oh,
Yeah, I
shit.
saw that.
To hear the whole thing.
I saw Shorty was like, "Damn, I missed that shit." He was trying to get all that in.
What's up, Pete?
Orale.
What's up, Pete? All right. Raider Rue, 2-time world champion of everything. There's Vince. Yeah, Vince made it right on time. All right, cool. I think we're all here. Gang's all here. If you're listening and I didn't call your names because you're not here, you should be.
I call your name. Gotta hit you with that fucking switch, dog.
Those of you who push and play for the first time, we're just getting settled in. And the podcast proper should be starting in a matter of moments.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as Che hits that button, there is no turning back.
No turning back. Y'all say the word. Ready
All right.
to do this?
I'm ready when you are, man.
Let's do it, dog.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com. It's the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What y'all sipping on, Che and Bobby?
Oh, yes. Chelas. Oh, today we got a special one. Your boy Bobby came through with a couple lovely beers. Of course, we're going to get into this first one. This is a collabo by one of our favorite breweries, the Almanac Brewing, a beer co. Almanac Beer Co. And then Moonraker Brewing Company, bro. And this is the Time Bender Hazy Double IPA.
Look out. What time is it? I don't know what time it
It's
is.
a time bender, bruh. So Shorty's out there talking about having to stay up late. This is what you need right here. You need one of these in your life to bend time, dog.
Damn, and it smells delicious too, man.
See, man. Let me
Pillaging Podcast places no guarantees.
see. And we're gonna pour this out here, man.
Like-
we're pouring this out right here.
Like, check this out, Kenny. You gotta smell this real quick, man. It smells dangy.
Look at that.
Smell like a
Look at
orange.
that. Look at how creamy that shit
It smells
is,
like
too,
a fresh
bro.
orange is what that smells like.
Let me see.
You ain't getting no citrus off that. I don't know
Ooh,
what
yeah.
we're doing.
Yeah, and this
Ooh,
is the
yeah.
first time I've ever seen a beer collaboration. Like, Almanac, they got some good beers right there. They got some fire right there too, man.
Crossover beer. So tell us about this crossover almanac. No,
So first of all, this is an 8.0%
on the Richter scale.
on the ABV, okay? And this comes in a 16-ounce can, the beautiful can. Look at that. That's a beautiful label, too.
It is a nice can.
That's a nice-looking can right there. Let me give it a taste right here.
Oh, damn. And it even has a picture of a gato in the back, dude. See, they got the cat right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, right there.
Why
Bam.
must it like that? Why must I chase the cat?
This almanac.
Nothing but the dog.
Oof.
That's right.
This almanac Moonraker collabo known as Time Bender is 8% on the Richter scale.
Oh.
What's it taste like, Che?
It's there, bro. It's so citrusy, very citrusy. It's got the hoppy notes on it, real strong hoppy notes. A little bitterness. There's some bitterness there. I don't know what the IBUs are on this. I'm not seeing it on the can,
I don't think it had
But,
it on the can.
but it's there, bro. And this is a so here's a little little further description for you. So it's a hazy double IPA, dry hopped with Mosaic, Cashmere, Centennial, and El Dorado hops, bro. So it's got 4 hops going into it. That's why we're getting that real heavy hop flavor. This is delicious. I love hoppy beers, man. Ever since I got introduced to hoppy beers, I just became a automatic fan. I don't know if there's past life. It has a lot to do with that. You know, the danky flavors.
Yeah.
They're just right up my alley, though.
So this is the big question: would you buy it again?
Yes.
And
this is definite yes.
This is a definite yes.
This is a motherfucker that'll get you though.
Yeah.
That you could taste it. The alcohol in here is heavy. You can taste that you're drinking something potent. Some of these high ABV beers, they're sneaky. They're smooth. They kind of like throw you off, and before you know it, you're in for a bad one. This one right here lets you know. Take it easy, dog.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah, it's not as intense because of that Mosaic as well. Those Mosaic hops usually are pretty bitter, man. Like they usually get you pretty good. And for those Mosaics being in there, man, it's actually pretty smooth. I like it.
This is delicious, man. Shout out to Almanac and fucking Moonraker. I had never had a Moonraker beer, and I saw you review one on Mojo's show, and I thought this was the same beer, but now you're saying it's a collabo. The other one's just a Moonraker. So now I want to taste the Moonraker beers because this is a good fucking collabo right
Next time, man.
And over here at the Pillaging Pod, we love Almanac beers. We went through almost all of their sours over the summer.
Yes,
So
we did.
There's a Bay Area beer. We love the local breweries. California breweries is where it's at, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
This is IPA country.
And this is out of Berkeley too, man. So this is coming out of the Berkeley area. So, homegrown.
Final question: where are you drinking this? At the cookout, at the fireplace?
Oh, most definitely, man. This is at the gathering, whether it's a friendly gathering, a family gathering. You're definitely gonna probably be barbecuing some shit up. But this is a barbecue that goes late into the night. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you might start around noontime, and you throw back some chelas, and you ate some ribs and some tri-tip maybe. But this is gonna continue, and that music, probably some rancheras, gonna get kicked up really late.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're gonna get kicked up really late. Okay,
Yeah.
you're talking about 11 o'clock, and you're like, good thing we live in this neighborhood because our neighbors know what's up, and they're not gonna call the fucking cops on us like a bunch of snitches. And we can stay up till 1, 2 in the morning
Because the neighbors
doing
right there.
this shit.
Put your
You know what I'm saying?
Put your keys in the fish bowl and kick back.
It's all about making sure that you don't call the cops on your neighbors so they return the favor. You know what I'm saying? So you got some neighbors that usually cause a ruckus. 4th of July, they're blowing up half the fucking block. Don't call the cops
Yes,
because they're going to pay that back.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my neighbors.
Shout out.
Welcome to the show, everybody. You can follow us at Pillaging Pod on Twitter and Instagram, at Kenny Stapler, at Che_PJ4F, at Bobby Wasabi 4080, at Kane
boy.
MT, the number 6. Follow the whole clique at CNPodNet. Of course, if you're feeling generous, donate to the show. If you're in the live chat right now, you can donate through the chat window. Hit that little cash icon, but bing, you can send us a couple bucks, buy Che and Bobby a couple beers.
It's true.
If you're listening, you can donate paypal.me/PJ4F. That's paypal.me/PJ4F for Pillaging, just for fun. Tonight's guest, we got BD Williams coming on air, formerly of the Silver and Black Pride blog, now writing for Just Blog Baby. We'll talk a little bit about that and what's going on with SB Nation as well. Those of you that are dedicated Silver and Black Pride members may have noticed a few changes lately, so we'll get to that and a lot more. Of course, merchandise. This episode brought to you by DC40 Custom Tees. Dan just tweeted out he's got a brand new Kobe t-shirt design, probably the freshest design I've ever seen Dan release.
You know what? And I was waiting for somebody to put that image of Kobe on a design, because that's one of the fucking lasting ones. After he hit that fucking game-winning shot against the Suns, he's got his jersey, he's tugging at his jersey, showing you his fucking heart, pulling his fucking, his heart out of his chest, is just letting you know that's what I'm all about. That's one of the most fire fucking t-shirts I've seen. I saw it and I was like, I gotta have it.
Yeah, you gotta
have it, man.
Yeah.
I almost wore my 81-point t-shirt, bro. I got one of those.
Oh yeah,
Those are limited.
Really?
Okay, I got that yellow with the fucking, it's Kobe's face on the front and the 81 points on the back. I got that at the Staples Center, bro.
that stays in the vacuum sealed package.
Oh, it's put away right now.
Yeah.
You know what's fucking crazy? The day of that shit, the day of the incident, right? I almost put that shirt on, like before I heard the news. I was going through it and I was like, oh shit, my 81-point tee, and the Lakers gonna play. There was gonna be some basketball, so I was gonna put that shit on. And then all of a sudden the news came in. I was like, damn, that was crazy. But now it's just sitting there in the drawer waiting for its time. I'm gonna showcase it, bro. You'll see it.
You bring it. Of course, RaiderRamble.com. Make sure you check them out. A lot of good independent Raiders news on there. And I would be remiss if I did not mention OneNationFanWear.com. Johnny's in the lab right now cooking up some pillaging gear for y'all. So if you like the One Nation stuff, we're doing some collabos with Johnny, and we're going to get some real nice pillaging hats, much like the script hat I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
So when those drop, we'll make sure that you know where to get it.
Hell yeah.
And you make sure to get it. Got it?
Good.
Tonight's show, again, as I mentioned, we got BD Williams on the air. We're going to get you all the quick hits from the week, including Raiders hosting mini camps in Las Vegas. Mark, you lied. Derek Carr trolling on Instagram. The glass roof taking shape over at Allegiant Stadium. And, of course, we're going to continue ranking the greatest Raiders of all time. This week, we're focusing on the greatest playmakers on offense. That means, by popular demand, Tim Brown will be talked about tonight. I know you're happy about that, Pete. And last but not least, definitely not least, is your phone call. So we'll try to open the phone lines again this week. We had a really good call last week from Pete, who I just mentioned. So without further ado, let's hit these quick hits, Che.
Yeah.
Coach John Gruden said the team will hold its mandatory minicamp on June 14th to the 16th in the Las Vegas area, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He did not specify whether those practices would be held in Vegas or at the Raiders facility in Henderson, but it is going down in Nevada. Either way, this sets up to be the Raiders' first event in their new hometown, which will make it a must-see for their fans. John Gruden was with Mark Davis at the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight this weekend. John said, if we can let everybody in, we will. And John Gruden was looking shook in those photos, man. I don't know if
I saw that meme that somebody put up. Who was that? Was that you?
that was me. Yeah. Yeah. So
What'd you say? He said, when you realize that your past job was a lot easier.
So John Gruden out there enjoying some fights.
Shit.
I wonder who's paying for those tickets. That's what I want to know.
Oh man, you know the casino owners, they're all in fucking Gruden's and fucking Davis's pockets right now. They're like, hey man, free tickets, dog. You come on the house.
Show that face.
All you want, man. Let's make some deals after this fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what
they're doing, dog.
You ever seen Mark Davis not wearing a long sleeve shirt?
No.
No.
I don't. Not that I recall. Not that I can recall, bro. No.
It'd be weird if he was wearing shorts and a long sleeve
Wasn't
shirt.
he? Wasn't he?
He
at
looks like the type, huh?
I feel like he was at a game. Maybe it was a Warriors game. He had a pink shirt on, but I think that shit was long sleeve too.
Yeah, no, it was that apricot colored shirt.
Yeah.
He's rocking that for like 2 months.
Well, it's because he has
So
to.
one change of pace that he had.
Yeah.
Well, he's an exec. He has to, be able to hide those sleeve tattoos that he has.
Yeah, right.
See, nobody knows about that, dude. He's all tagged up, dude, like from the wrist all the way up, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck,
he's
like them
fucking
Yakuzas,
tatted.
bro.
Fucking tatted up with becas, bro. He's fucking freckles all over the place, dog.
Mark's got the 3 dots or what?
He's got fucking 5 million dots, bro.
All right, let's keep it moving. Next quick hit. In the past few days, Raiders signal caller Derek Carr has posted photos of himself with Khalil Mack and action shots of him on the field versus the Chargers, Colts, and the Patriots. Raider Nation, as they do, jumped to conclusions and began speculating whether the 7th-year gunslinger was hinting at a possible trade destination. However, Carr's brother David was quick to debunk the conspiracy theories and suggested that his brother was merely trolling. You heard it. Take off those tinfoil hats, Raider Nation. Derek Carr is not hinting at trade destinations. We are. That's what we do. That's our job.
And so his trolling might in turn turn into a troll on himself, right? I mean, that'd be a damn shame, right?
Yeah,
It'd be a damn shame. It'd be a damn shame.
Possibly. Next. The Mortensen-McCarthy joint venture in charge of Allegiant Stadium construction completed the big lift and began work on the plastic polymer roof last Valentine's Day. Fans that have been concerned about the crew meeting key construction targets can breathe easily after this first step towards completing the see-through roof. After some minor hiccups, construction looks to be back on track. Everybody take a deep breath. And release.
Yo, really though, did you see a video? Did you see a video of those motherfuckers sitting in them nets
Yeah.
while they're trying, like they're putting the links together on those nets to create like a surface where they can start bringing those panels on. That's some scary ass work, bro. I don't care.
It is.
You and I have been at the ropes course with a couple of students or two, and we're only probably like a third of the way, or maybe like a 15th of the way that they are, bro. Like we're like 60 feet in the air. These motherfuckers like hundreds of feet in the air.
Yeah.
Just staring at the bottom of the fucking of the new stadium, bro.
I'm
That's
good.
Hey,
I'm
well,
good on that job, dog.
It takes a whole different type of breed of like those type of cats that can just literally walk up to the
Hell
edge,
yeah.
look down, and not even trip. man.
Absolutely, bro. No, listen. The other day I was leaving my house for work, and I was driving past these dudes. They were putting up solar panels on a 2-story home. And dude was just walking all freely.
Yeah.
He had a panel. He had a whole fucking solar panel all by himself, and he's walking down the fucking backside of the house
Nah.
towards the edge, and he's like,
I got
fuck
this.
it. He's like falling and shit, and he's all cool. Puts the fucking panel down, turns back around, walks. I'm like, damn.
Nah.
And I got nervous for that dude.
Yeah.
I saw these guys. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm cool. I don't want to hear about no accidents. I know they got a little chain linking them and whatnot.
Well,
Of course, safety,
Especially after those bolts busted and everything. Right? So shout out to all you roof workers. Shout out to all you iron workers.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Man, that is some Richter ass work right there. So
I hope you guys get a fucking good bonus, bro.
Yeah.
Good payment. I hope you guys get some season tickets.
I
Shit.
do. Yeah, right.
Right?
Hell yeah.
These
For the
motherfuckers
work that
deserve
they do?
season tickets, dog.
I
I'm just
really,
saying.
I really hope they bring this construction crew out for one of the games
Hell
and
yeah.
honor them. That would be cool.
Hell
right?
yeah.
That's a good move. huh?
First game.
Yeah.
First game, put them. They should bring out the flag. They should be honored.
Yeah.
You know how they do? They like to salute a lot of different people during the games.
Well,
and
the
shit.
same way they honor that last steel beam that they put up on top,
Yeah, there
it
you
should
go.
be the exact same
There
thing
you
as
go.
well, man.
There you
Because,
go.
like I said, it takes a whole different type of breed of folks to be doing what they're doing,
Hell
man.
yeah.
Because it takes
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of balls to, like I said, walking on all that, dude. Yeah, you're secured, you're strapped down and everything, but that strap can easily give way, just like that neck can give way,
Yeah,
man. So you never know, dude.
They'll be putting back some time benders after this
Dude,
shit.
straight
That's
out,
for
dog.
sure. That's for sure. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Because that place went from a dirt pit to like looking really nice
Oh yeah.
fairly quickly. I'd say.
And bro, once it gets all the bells and whistles, dog, it's not even there yet. Right now, it's just the stadium that's looking pretty from the outside. They got all the fucking glass going up and shit. Once they start to add all the fucking trees and get that shit, because it's gonna look like a goddamn resort, bro. You already know. Nothing in Vegas doesn't have all that shit going on. All the bells and whistles outside,
Fountains and all that.
fountains
Yeah.
and fucking palm trees and all kinds of shit, bro. You might see a tiger come out. It's gonna look fire.
When
You
that,
watch.
that blowtorch is firing for Al. Yeah.
Dude, straight out, it's gonna be a tiger with a blowtorch, dog, coming out here.
Right.
That damn fucking volcano explosion.
We got Siegfried and Roy at halftime. Yeah, it's gonna be
Wait,
on.
it would probably would just be one of them, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because one of them got fucked up. Bro.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, chill.
Did
bro.
you hear though? The whole reason for that though is the other guy was the handler, and the other guy's the magician.
Yeah,
The guy that was the magician was the one that got
yeah.
he got handled.
yeah.
He
yeah.
approached that tiger the wrong way, dog.
And magic ain't real,
No,
dog.
tiger, I ain't fucking around, magic guy.
Ain't no such thing as magic.
Where's my kibbles and bits?
You're looking like a Slim Jim right now.
Oh man, I hope you're doing well.
So that's our quick hits for the week, guys. It's a short segment, as you guys know. NFL news fairly slow right now, but we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're trying to bring you everything that we can that's Raiders related. The real focus of the show, of course, is BD Williams coming on next.
That's right.
And as we continue our quest to find the greatest Raider of all time, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it'll be BD Williams breaking down everything you need to know about the Silver and Black.
There you go.
So stay tuned. We'll see you guys on the other side. We out.
Peace.
I'm gonna need you to send me this beat, man.
All right, you're good.
this shit though, the drum break on this reminds me of Sally, that girl.
Right.
All right, let's call homeboy right now.
Hey, hello.
Hey, boss, this is Kenny Stapler from the Pillaging Podcast. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Kenny, how you doing, man?
I'm good. You ready to do the damn thing?
Let's do it.
All right, just let you know we are live to YouTube right now. I am going to bring you in just a moment here, and we'll get right to it, okay?
Awesome.
All right, cool. And we're back. Yes, indeed. This is Kenny Stapler joined with Che and Bobby
Yeah, boy.
every single week from the top of the crow's nest. And we bring to you this week the illustrious BD Williams. BD, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Before we get started, I got to ask you, does the BD stand for Billy D? Is this Billy D. Williams on the air with us right now?
No, actually, my name is Blake Donovan, so I go by my middle name mostly. Only my family calls me Blake, but it's funny, when I started writing for Silver and Black Pride a couple years ago, both those names were taken, so I had to pick something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it kind of stuck like that.
So you went with Lando Calrissian. I respect that. I'm a big fan. Big fan. I hope you're drinking.
Yo, real quick, BD, because did you ever, were you a fan of the show Martin?
What's the show?
The show Martin with Martin Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
of course.
no offense, but the first time I heard Kenny say BD Williams is gonna come on, I was like, BDB.
Hey,
Shout out, Pam.
we're drinking some Colt 45 in your honor right now. Just to let you know, I'm just playing. We're drinking that Almanac Moonraker Time Bender collaboration.
yeah.
But
It's delicious too.
less of that, more Raiders. BD, welcome to the show, man. Let our listeners know where they can find you and what you're up to these days.
Okay, yeah. So, I just got on Twitter maybe a couple years ago. Been, covering the Raiders, breaking down Raiders film. I was writing at Silver and Black Pride, and now I just started out at Just Blog Baby.
So BD Williams, former Division I athlete, high school football coach, film analyst, and
what's up.
sports writer, currently covering the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of my listeners, I would say a lot, but a few of them actually hit me up behind the scenes because they follow you on Silver and Black Pride. Notice you haven't posted in a little while. I know there's some changes over there at SB Nation. Are you comfortable? Can you tell us what's going on with SB Nation? What kind of changes are people to expect? Those that have been following Silver and Black Pride, what's going on over there?
Yeah, well, I was just a freelancer for them. I wasn't an employee, so I didn't sign any kind of non-disclosure agreement. So, I'm just going to tell you guys what they're telling me. Basically, there's a California law that restricts independent contractors how much they can work for a company before they need to be paid full-time and given benefits and things like that. So we were all put on a restriction, how many pieces we could write.
Wow.
And still be paid for it. So that's kind of just what it is. They haven't taken away my contributor status with the website, but I just won't be paid for anything that I contribute over there. So that's why I kind of moved over to Just Blog Baby, and I'm glad they brought me on.
Yeah, and this goes back to some legislature that was recently passed in California that would have required SB Nation to furnish these guys with benefits and all that. So, SB Nation's like, we ain't trying to do all that. If you want to write, you can write. But if you're freelancing, we can't take care of everybody. And so it's a business move. It has nothing to do with anybody's performance. As we know, BD does great work. We've mentioned him on the show several times before. But congratulations on landing with Just Blog Baby. That's a great outfit, and hope to see you do well over there. So all of you that have followed BD over at Silver and Black Pride, now you know he's at Just Blog Baby, so you can still get that same great content. It's just a different spot. It's a different .com, and he's on Twitter if you're following him already. I'm sure you guys will pick that up. But let's get down to business, man. Let's talk about the Raiders here. First and foremost, a lot of controversy, a lot of opinions flying around over the last couple years, heating up a lot this offseason as rumors are abound. There's a lot of blame to go around when your team hasn't posted a winning season for 3 years and decades prior to that. So I know I'm opening a big can of worms here, Mr. Williams, but in your analysis, what has been the top weaknesses on this team in the recent past?
Well, I mean, no, really the biggest weakness is the linebacker position.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people are kind of they're down on Paul Gunther. I think Paul Gunther's actually solid. He has some good schemes that I see from week to week. But I just really think that the talent at the linebacker position really restricts what he's able to call and how effective his scheme is. So I don't really understand why the Raiders haven't made that a priority in like years,
Right.
really years.
Right.
It's been basically since Kirk Morrison and Thomas Howard that the Raiders have had like serviceable, average to above average NFL linebackers. And so that's really just one of the biggest problems there. A lot of people talk about the wide receiver position. I don't think it's too bad. I guess the depth is probably pretty bad, but it's really the Raiders have some guys like Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. These guys can win across the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But and I guess Tyrell Williams was probably brought on to win outside.
Mm-hmm.
I think the foot injury probably hurt his chances winning outside. He stopped winning, like the go routes, some double moves that were outbreaking routes up the sideline, things like that. Never really looked comfortable in contested catch situations in 2019, and that's really where the Raiders are hurting right now on offense. I would say is their ability to win outside the numbers. And I mean, that's a hard thing to do in the NFL. It takes, some really elite wide receiver play to find guys who can do that consistently. That's probably the biggest ingredient on offense that's missing. And I mean, let's just be honest. There's a lot of holes on this team. So I mean, if I'm only picking 3, but the younger players on this team, they're playing pretty awesome. For rookies, maybe if you want to put Maurice Hurst and Colton Miller and, guys who are in their second year. But most of the veterans, they're just kind of like Jags, just another guy out there.
Yeah.
And so at some point, the Raiders need to have some veterans who, are added to the mix that can make a real impact on this team. Obviously, guys like Rodney Hudson, Trent Brown, they're doing their thing on the offensive line, Richie Incognito. But outside of that, we saw the Raiders bring in LaMarcus Joyner. He really didn't make an impact. He had probably a disappointing season. But even if you asked him, he'd probably say that. So, the Raiders really don't have some veteran players who can make an impact. So I would say that those are the 3 areas.
I got to disagree with you. I think LaMarcus Joyner made a tremendous impact. All of it was negative. Negativo.
Yes.
Pretty astute there. I mean, I agree with the points that you make. Those are definitely weaknesses. You mentioned linebacker. Looking at your recent mock draft, or at least as of last week when I was writing up these notes, you have the Raiders picking 2 LBs with their first 3 picks.
Damn.
It wouldn't be the offseason if Raider Nation wasn't clamoring for a first-round linebacker. That being said, sell me on Bond and Brooks and who you have going in the first and third round, respectively.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm not huge on mock drafts. My editor, asked me to do one, so I just did it. Zach Bond, he's a linebacker out of Wisconsin. Not a lot of people know him. He's not a really hot name right now. But if you watch him, turn on, a full game of his on YouTube. There's a few of them out there. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a player who can blitz off the edge. He's got a lot of bend. He's a speed rusher. He's a twitchy guy. He's a guy who can drop into coverage. He's got fantastic movement skills for an edge rusher. I think he's a sleeper. I'm hearing a couple people who I respect that are like, the draft nicks in the draft community saying, hey, this guy's actually probably going to be a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. He just isn't getting a lot of media love right now. But I watched him. I'm honestly shocked that he's, not talked about more. So Zach Bond is someone that I think is going to be a really good NFL player. He's kind of like a modern NFL linebacker. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. He blitzes, he covers. There's a lot to like when you watch him, and that's just kind of the player that I'm hoping that the Raiders get. I don't know if that's necessarily something that Paul Guenther is looking for, but we'll see when the draft rolls around. And I think this is actually a good linebacker class to be linebacker needy in. There's a lot of different flavors. There's some guys who are really good in coverage. There's some guys who are really good against the run. So there's different directions that the Raiders could go in probably at linebacker, even into the third and maybe even fourth round, and get a guy who's an impact player. At least in one phase of the game.
And that seems more likely to me. I mean, we've been clamoring for a first-round linebacker for years now. I think, what was the last one? Was it McClain? Was he first rounder?
Rolando.
Yeah, Rolando McClain. All he ever did was suplex a Charger.
and we cheered him for that.
We did.
We cheered him for that.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Man, we had the quick.
But it was all downhill after that.
Yeah, that was a quick hit, for sure. And I like that. I like this is deep because I think unless you can get a marquee linebacker there, I really don't see the Raiders going linebacker in the first round just based on prior tendencies. And I know a lot of that's changed. I know we got a whole new regime in there, a whole new front office, but I'm just going to stick to what we've seen. Yeah. But the depth of the linebacker class gives hope. I was also talking about how last week with the defensive line that we have now, and if you potentially add in a free agent like Chris Jones, with Paul Guenther's scheme, all the twists, the stunts, it's really on that defensive line to open up the holes for the linebackers to shoot through. If you're talking about pass rush, I'd really like to see somebody that's adept in coverage, though, a guy that's sideline to sideline. No, I'm not talking about you, Ben Heaney. I'm not talking about Captain Caveman and all those projects. I want a certified, bona fide sideline to sideline guy that can hit, that can cover. We need a jack of all trades. We need a Swiss Army knife in the middle of the field.
Don't you slander Ben Heaney.
Yo, real quick. So you would see a guy like Bond going in that second first round pick? Is that kind of where you would see him getting picked up by the Raiders if he does get picked up?
Yeah, I mean, I watched as many linebackers as I could. I probably watched around 30 linebackers. I think that he is a pretty special player just off of watching the film. Obviously, things like the combine, and we got to see how fast and how high these guys can jump. And,
right.
There's a lot of extra stuff that goes into it, but just off of what I'm seeing on film, I think that guy's a pretty special player. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a first-round pick. And so if the Raiders are there at 19, they want an impact player, I think that there's definitely worse directions that they could go in than this Zach Bond kid out of Wisconsin.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Get that Badger in there. A lot of talk talking about linebackers and wide receivers seems to be the two positions of great need. That's what Raider Nation is talking about. That's what the media is talking about. That's what we're talking about. But the consensus seems to be linebackers in free agency, wide receivers in the draft. Not saying that we can't do both, but give me a linebacker in free agency that you think comes into this team and makes an immediate impact, not named Corey Littleton.
Yeah, not named Corey Littleton. Look, I understand why people are talking about Corey Littleton because he's a cover linebacker and he's a solid linebacker in this league. I just think it's kind of funny that some of your fans want this. I mean, he's like, an above average, I guess, linebacker. He's I don't think he's going to be the fix, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
There is a linebacker, though, who's going to be a free agent named Jamie Collins. He plays on the Patriots.
Yeah.
Patriots are notoriously tight with their cash when it comes to free agency time. And if you're watching film, you're going to know that this guy, Jamie Collins, is one of the better linebackers in the NFL, probably top 5 linebackers in the NFL right now. He's incredibly athletic. Plays off ball, on ball, blitzes, covers, literally does everything. Was one of the major catalysts in that Patriots defense being super good. And I don't understand why he's not talked about more as far as, someone trying to land him in free agency. He's going to be in line to make probably over $16 million a year. That's, C.J. Mosley last year broke the bank with the Jets. He got signed for like $16 million. And Jamie Collins impacts the game a lot more than C.J. Mosley does. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him make north of that. Excuse me, but I would love to see the Raiders make a play for, maybe land a guy like Jamie Collins. Another thing that people I think maybe should just realize or know about is Rod Marinelli got brought in the defensive staff, and he's going to be defensive line coach. But a lot of the stunts, a lot of the third down packages, he's going to have his hands in that. If you go back and you watch Dallas film, they really like to get a linebacker and use him in different ways to blitz. And Jamie Collins is definitely one of the better linebackers in the NFL doing that on third downs. So I think that he would fit kind of what the Raiders have been trying to do with Tahir Whitehead, who's not a good blitzer, and then kind of fit what Rod Marinelli likes to do on the defensive line as well.
All right, good points. Good points. I also noticed you don't have a QB in this draft. Tell us why, and tell us how Carr rejuvenates his career in Vegas. What does Carr need to do to get right? I will not accept the answer, he needs more weapons. While that may be true, while that may be true, that's an easy answer. And I feel like Carr has more issues than just that.
There you go.
Carr haters or not, you got to really see it for what it is. Carr's left a lot on the field. He's left a lot on the table. So tell me about Derek Carr. How do we get this situation right? Derek Carr's obviously starting quarterback in this league. Outside of the ops, more weapons. What do you see from Carr? Let's be critical here. Let's not pull any punches. Let's keep it real. What does Carr need to do?
Yeah. Well, obviously this is like a burning question amongst Raiders fans right now, right? And I guess when I was doing the mock draft, I wasn't like not selecting a quarterback because I have like the faith in Carr to figure it out. But I think really the biggest problem with Derek Carr right now is there's an element of maybe overcoaching, micromanagement that comes from John Gruden. It's been well documented throughout his career. Just the amount of influence and involvement he has in the offense. And I think Gruden has been in press conferences before talking about how he needs to like step back and let Derek Carr play. And I just don't know how able John Gruden is to do that. So, if you guys like watched or are familiar with the John Gruden segment back when he was at ESPN, when he would sit down with all these quarterbacks who were entering the NFL, like Andrew Luck and Jameis Winston, Derek Carr was amongst those guys. He would always get these guys on the whiteboard. He would always show them plays where they might have made like interception and things like that. And over and over and over again in all these quarterback specials, he would always talk about how you need to throw the ball away there. You need to throw the ball away there, right? And a lot of people are watching Derek Carr throw the ball away on third down and saying, hey, this guy, what's wrong with him? Grow a pair, try to make a play. And I don't think that they realize that literally this is John Gruden, like his philosophy is to throw it away and live to play another down, or live to play another series, because John Gruden is super confident in his offense being successful. So he doesn't want the quarterback to give the ball to the other team. He wants maybe the defense gets a stop, maybe we can get out here again. But I think Derek Carr needs to overcome the coaching a little bit. He needs to figure out, hey, maybe this is time for me to make a play. But right now I think he's having a hard time differentiating between when it's time to listen to the coach and when it's time to just, put the Superman cape on and do something. And I don't know if Derek Carr has it in him, honestly. Yeah. But that's definitely what he needs to do to make it work.
And that's the Rich Gannon factor that everyone's talking about, right?
You got to cuss a coach out every now and then, bro.
Does Derek Carr have that pushback ability? Remains to be seen. In one of your recent articles, you categorized Carr as a QB surgeon. In that article, you had several QB categories. It's a really good article. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the breakdown. I thought it was an interesting way, a creative way of approaching this. Also in that category of QB surgeon, you have Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, Matt Ryan, Ryan Tannehill, and Jared Goff. That's a group that makes sense together. You go on to state the reality is none of these QB skill sets ever change dramatically. They're always above average passers, and they will only be as good as the offense they are in. Your team can win with the style of QB play that Carr represents, but it won't be enough to lift the team out of a hole. and you say, see Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl for confirmation. Back that comment up and tell the fan base why they should remain hopeful that Carr can lift this offense up and make an impact on day one in Las Vegas.
Well, I mean, sorry guys, I'm not gonna do it. But if the Raiders are down multiple scores, I don't have confidence in Derek Carr's ability to put the team on his back.
There you go.
If it's within, we've seen Derek Carr make fourth quarter comebacks before.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong. Let's differentiate these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if the game is within striking distance, your offense needs to go out there and execute and do a final drive. Derek Carr can do that with great play calling. He's in rhythm. What he sees. Some occasionally we'll see him. Maybe like once every 5 games, he'll make a great off-script play, but it's definitely not in his like tool bag that he uses often, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe once in his career, twice in his career, Derek Carr has been back multiple scores and been able to come back from it.
Yeah.
So, if the game gets away, I just don't know if the style of quarterback that Derek Carr plays, you're going to be able to say, hey, we could do this. Whereas there are some other quarterbacks in the NFL, Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. There are other guys where the game's always within reach. Patrick Mahomes, the game's always within reach. It doesn't matter how many points the other team has.
Right.
Something can happen. And I just don't think Derek Carr's in that category of a player.
Mm-hmm.
But in this group of other people other quarterbacks that we named, we've seen Matt Ryan go to the Super Bowl, Jared Goff go to the Super Bowl, Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl. They all had fantastic play callers. They executed the offense great. So if Gruden can figure out how to get it done from the play calling perspective, Derek Carr is going to be able to execute it. And then of course we also need to see the Raiders defense step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can already hear people saying, but in 2016, Derek Carr had, 6-7 comebacks. That's true. I mean, but let's put 2016 in a vacuum where it's at, and let's move on from that because we have not seen that trait move on throughout the years and follow Derek Carr. I mean, we had some luck that year as well. And Derek Carr was playing balls to the wall that season, so we need to get that mojo back. Shout out to Mojo Raider. We've been critical of Carr, and I think unfairly we've been tagged as Carr haters on this podcast. We're just critical. We're critical of Carr. We're Carr apologists for about 3 straight seasons, and that ended last year, and we warned you that it would.
Yep.
We told you that this was the season, and I know we had wide receivers go down. Williams dealing with the plantar fasciitis, but you still got a top-notch running back, candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year, runner-up to Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Top 3 tight end.
You got Foster Moreau, who's a touchdown magnet. You got one of the best offensive lines in the game. You still have a third down conversion machine in Hunter Renfrow. So, did he have all the weapons he needed last year? No, but he did have weapons. Let's not act like there was nobody on that team. And yeah, I know Renfrow was up and down as well, and Jacobs was up and down as well. But we need to get that mojo back. If they're going to keep Derek Carr, I'm a Raiders fan. I want to see the Raiders win, so of course I'm going to back him up. But I'm just being frustrated after every game, feeling like this kid left something on the table. So I think you nailed it. Outside of the weapons and staying healthy, which are the obvious points, we need to see that fight from Derek Carr. We need to see that pushback, whether it's him fighting against the immeasurable, the odds stacked against him, or him fighting against his coach on the sideline and letting it rip. So we did see in that coach's I forget the name, the coach's film room, the Fired Coaches Club, the QB segments that John used to do. Very impressed by Carr's cerebral ability to call an offense at the line of scrimmage. We saw more of that last year. We even saw them get into a little bit where Carr's maybe checking out of plays maybe he shouldn't have, and not checking out of plays where he should have. So, it's just I want to see Derek Carr get his confidence back. Stella needs to get a groove back this year.
I think
Definitely.
I think one of the main things is we need to see a lot more of that hurry up offense that Gruden used to throw at Gannon back in the days, where it didn't have to be fucking late in the game for you to throw out that 2-minute O. You know what I mean? Like, it's a change of pace, something to change up the offense. I think that could be something that could be helpful to Derek.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, we gotta see more fire, bro. We gotta see some kind of like, and right now he's trolling, posting pictures. I want to see that fucking fire in the fucking on the field, Derek.
Yep.
Like,
Yep, exactly.
not on fucking IG, bro. Like, I want to see it on the field, bro.
Yeah.
Come with that spiciness on the field, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, we've seen it before. To be fair to Derek Carr, we've seen it before. Bring that back, man. Jake Del Rio is not walking through that door. Mike Tice is gone. Todd Downing's been banned from the building. No need to be tight. You had a coach that came in here, came out of retirement largely because of you, allegedly. And so let's make him proud. Let's make Raider Nation proud. If you're the guy, and that remains to be seen. Again, a lot of rumors circling this year. So, but BD asked me to keep the questions about between the lines. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not getting into rumor and speculation tonight. So, and I'm sick and tired of it too, William. So let's get into this. Let's move back to defense because I really feel that that's like many. The Raiders need that when you talking about your points about QB surgeons.
Can I get a question real quick to BD?
Go ahead.
BD, real quick, because you mentioned Jamie Collins. Would you say there could be some concerns when he left New England prior, right? He left to Cleveland, and he was in Cleveland and he didn't do a whole lot, and then Cleveland just kind of released him. He ended up check, right? Would you say there's a fear of something similar happening where you got a Jamie Collins, you pay him a whole bunch of money to come over? They work out. He ends up leaving, goes right back to New England to help them fucking become, the AFC champion or whatever.
Hey now.
AFC. Maybe you know what I'm saying though, right? Like I feel like
yes,
he has like some definite ties there.
Definitely valid. That's a valid question. If you watch his tape when he was in Cleveland, there was a lot of plays that he was taking off.
Yeah.
Did not play with a lot of effort, which
it's
might
Cleveland.
just take him right off of Mayock's board. But also, you got to think about he's playing for the Cleveland Browns. They're 0-16 team at the time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty forgivable if you see a guy out there, not having a whole bunch of passion. But I would understand if that's the reason why the Raiders didn't want to pay him, or multiple teams didn't want to pay him. But when just going off this last year's tape, and you're seeing a guy who's making an impact everywhere on the field. He's throwing offensive linemen around. He's dropping back into coverage. He's blitzing. Name it. This guy's doing everything. So just going off of that, this guy's a pretty special linebacker. But yeah, that's a valid question.
Yeah, and bringing him over here with Gunther and Marinelli, that's good company right there. So feel a little bit better about that. But that's a great question, Che. On the fly. Off the hip, shooting off the cuff.
That's what I do.
Very nice. So that's a nice segue into what I was going to say. BD, you had recently wrote a piece on the Marinelli hiring after that had happened. I think Buckner was such a fan favorite that emotions got clouded by opinion in Raider Nation. So, they were sad to see Buck go. We were sad to see him go too. But Marinelli, he's honestly a tremendous upgrade over Buckner. And Buckner's he's gonna do fine. He's gonna land on his feet. But and you mentioned Marinelli earlier. Tell us why Marinelli is such an upgrade over Brenton Buckner.
Well, I like Buckner too, and Buckner, I think he's he's probably one of the best defensive, position coaches on the Raiders defensive side of the ball.
Pure position coach.
So you'd probably rather see the Raiders upgrade, the linebacker coach or the secondary coach or something like that. But with that being said, Ron Marinelli is widely considered the best defensive line coach in football. He's got an incredible track record, whether it goes back to Tampa, these defenses over there in Dallas. Fantastic pass rushers. He's getting a lot of juice out of just random guys. You saw Benton Mayowa. He left the Raiders. He went to Dallas, completely changed as a player, and now he's coming in and he's a pass rushing specialist. He's a completely different person than he was when he was originally with the Raiders. And there's a lot of stories like that of Marinelli getting his hands on guys and really molding them into fantastic defensive linemen. So yeah, I think it is an upgrade, and just more than anything, it's fantastic knowledge that this guy brings to the defense.
Okay, with many and kind of getting into some conspiracy theory territory here. A lot of fans are already souring on Paul Gunther's defense, which I think is unfair. If anybody needs more weapons, it's Paul Gunther.
There you go.
Do you see the Marinelli hiring, though, as a way to possibly put pressure on PG? And is Marinelli a possible safety net if they decide to move on from Gunther during the 2020 campaign or even immediately afterwards? Is this a possible, a switcheroo, I guess? I don't know a better word for it. But, bringing in Marinelli as a safety net in case they got to move on from Gunther and Marinelli gets the promotion. Is there any of that to this maneuver? or am I reading too far into it?
Yeah, I mean, you might not be wrong there. When I was going back and watching a lot of the Raiders defense, there was actually a lot of calls and a lot of adjustments that I really thought Paul Guenther did a really good job with.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got journeyman playing the linebacker position, there's only really so much that you can do.
Yeah.
And he's forced to play with all these backup safeties, all these backup linebackers. So I think it's really hard to have a full evaluation of Paul Guenther. And yeah, maybe if Gruden gets tired of him, Rod Marinelli wouldn't be a bad way to go either. So maybe there is something to that, but I can't. I'm not going to prognosticate about that. So
right. D-Man in our chat right now brings up a good point. He says, "Will we have liked Buckner as much if we had not seen him on Hard Knocks?" And I think that's a good point. Obviously they played up Buckner. He's a great personality. He was entertaining in front of the camera. And the answer to that question, D-Man, is probably not, man. These guys are position coaches. The other guy that we got to see a lot of was tight end coach, and he's a likable dude too. So,
but a lot of that, a lot of what we liked is the connection that he did have to the players, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where my concern is that you had a guy like Buckner who was linked to these young cats, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously you have the veterans like Mayoa. They might be like, okay, yeah, I'm down with this move. But these younger cats, they were really attached to the hip as far as Buckner goes. So my concern is, their ability to relate to an old dude like Marinelli, right? Where you had a guy like Coach Buck that was more on their level, was able to speak to them in their kind of language.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays
2
out.
words, Monty Kiffin. He got it done.
Hey, there you go.
And he's like 80,000 years old, bro.
That's true.
Monty Kiffin looked like the damn crypt keeper on the sideline.
Well, winning is the key, right?
Yeah.
Winning solves all. If you go out there, you execute the game plan that your coach is telling you to do, and it results in W's, you're not gonna question it very long. You're gonna fucking get on the boat, man, and you're gonna ride with them. So I hope that happens real quickly.
And John's always been great at, sending a message. These young cats are going to learn real fast. This is a business.
Yeah.
And if I got a chance to upgrade, I'm upgrading. I don't care who you are, what your name is, how much you're getting paid. We're moving on. And John's always been like that since the first time he came to Oakland. So Seed is a bit of that as well. We saw with Cooper and Mack even. So, and that sent a ripple. We were all there. We watched the Niners game immediately after the Cooper trade, and we saw what happened to the team. So it was a good point. It's a fair point, Shay. But these kids, they're going to learn, man. They got to learn.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah. I also feel part of this, too, is Marinelli. He's worked with John Gruden before. I think John, coming out of retirement, he's mentioned he had his wish list of coaches and assistants that he was going to bring in. You have to think Marinelli was high on that list, but was not available at that time. Once Marinelli became available, John Gruden pulled no punches and pulled the strings to make that happen. So he's still assembling his roster of talent and his inner circle of trust.
There you go.
And Marinelli's a part of that. So, yeah, all that said, BD Williams, I have to ask you, do you want to run the 2-minute drill?
Ooh.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I was expecting this. I tried to prepare. We'll see. We'll see how well I do. But yeah, I gotta go. I can't go out like a punk. So
it's
nice.
going down today.
All right. He said he was expecting this.
Yeah.
Expecting this.
I'm glad you did your research, BD. I'm glad you. We catch a lot of people off guard with this one.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I've heard some of these go down, and I'm just like, what are these questions? It's hard stuff. So, I'm worried. But
all right.
We pride ourselves in having the most difficult questions in Raider Nation.
So, Mr. Williams, if you've listened to the show before, some of these questions are going to be familiar to you. So, as you know, the 2-minute drill has a new format, and right now I'm going to ask Che to bring up his timer on his phone. We got all the devices being put to use right now.
Yeah.
I got the Ableton.
It's like 17 fucking devices.
I got the Ableton Push 2. I got the Ableton APC 40. I got 2 screens. I got a custom-built PC tower. We got 2 Focusrite Scarlett audio interfaces. We got the iPad Pro running. Bobby's got 2 iPhones at work. Chase got his iPhone out. And, of course, we got the MacBook Pro. So we're out here, bro.
We're putting in work over here, man. It's a lot of energy being wasted. I hope it's for a good cause.
It is. It is. Mr. Williams is
But I'm ready to go, dog.
Someone's gonna burglarize the crow's nest after you got.
I know, right, man? Hey, it's a good thing we don't give out our address.
Yeah. I'd like to see them try. I got
We got safety. We got safety. Devices up in here too.
That's it.
We take care of ourselves.
That's
over
right.
here.
All right. So as you guys know, the 2-minute drill is a brand new format. This is actually 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to move downfield and score a touchdown. Each correct question is worth 10 yards. Long story short, answer 10 questions correctly. Bam, you win the 2-minute drill.
That's right.
So Che is going to pause the timer as I ask the questions. I will not repeat the question because, as you know, there's no stalling on this show. No stalling on the show. I will repeat the question if you need it repeated, but we will pause that out of fairness to you. That is a timeout. So let's get started. If you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I hear you trailing off, man. I hear you trailing off. He's going. He's digging deep, man. He's digging deep. All right, here we go. The NFL. All right, are you ready, Che?
I'm ready, dog.
All right, so start this timer as soon as I'm done.
Yeah, no.
You got
I know.
it.
I got it.
He knows.
I know the rules, dog.
For the listeners. The NFL has begun hosting international games since 2007. The Raiders have appeared in 4 such games. Right? But have only won two. Give me one of the teams and one of the locations in which those victories came.
Okay, they beat the Bears last year in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, right?
That is correct. Got one on the board. Next question. We saw the Raider final battle of the 2018, including that loss. Who claims the most wins all time, winners and the Raiders?
I think the 49ers got it right.
That is incorrect.
That hurts.
Name the only 2 Raiders entering 2017 to return an interception 100 plus yards.
Over how many yards? Sorry.
100 plus yards.
Shoot. I have no idea. Move on. Next one.
That's smart. Hey, by the way, that is the move, okay?
Yeah.
Do not waste time pondering if you don't got the answer. Say move on, man.
No stalling.
That's how you stop the clock, man. It's all about the clock.
Why are you giving away the cheat code, bro?
I'm just saying. I've said it on air before, bro.
All right, next question.
I like BD, dog, all right? I'm trying to help him out.
I like this guy too. Who was the first Raiders pick in the first AFL NFL draft in 1967?
First pick, 1967. Ken Stabler was a second-round pick. Oh, gosh. Marv Hubbard, maybe?
That is incorrect. Next question. How many interceptions did Reggie Nelson tally for the Raiders in 2016?
2016, I'll say 3.
That is incorrect. What defensive back did the Raiders sign in the second round of the 2017 draft?
Sign in the draft in the second round?
Yeah.
What defensive back did the Raiders sign in the second round of the 2017 draft?
Obi Melifone?
That is correct. Entering 2017, 5 players share the Raiders' record of scoring a touchdown in 6 consecutive games. Name one of them.
Scoring touchdown 6 consecutive games. All time, right? Let's go Marcus Allen with one of them.
That is incorrect. What 2 offensive linemen did the Raiders draft in 2017?
Um, 2017. That was next one.
Name the 2 defensive tackles drafted by the Raiders in 2017. And where's he at on time?
He's at 45 seconds.
Name the 2 defensive tackles drafted by the Raiders in 2017. You see the theme here?
Yeah.
You see the theme?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm blanking on these. 2017. 2 defensive tackles in 2017.
It's the music.
Gosh. Yeah, this game really puts you on the spot right now. I'm going to kick myself for these ones. All right, next one.
What guard played in each of the Raiders' first 3 Super Bowl appearances? Super Bowl II, Super Bowl 11, and Super Bowl 15. We had the answer for this on last week's show.
Yep.
Okay, the guard is...
You better get this right.
Yeah, I know.
Way to put some
Hold
pressure
on.
on him. Way to add the pressure, Kitty.
You get 20 seconds.
I just had his name. I was just looking him up. In between Archell and Jim and Gus Otto, who's the guard?
You gotta yell that you're stalling, though.
Jim Otto. That's the son of
That is incorrect. And Bobby's correct. You are stalling. Rather hard. All right, this may be your last question.
Yeah.
What does he have right? He's got 1 right so far. Is that correct?
No,
You're right.
Yeah, we moved the ball 10 yards, Derek. It's time to go.
Hail Mary.
In which round was Markel Lee drafted?
5th round.
That is correct.
All right, that's it, man.
That's it.
2 minutes is up, man.
Done.
But you ended with a victory, dog.
He's
I'm glad that you got that.
not happy with his performance, but real happy that shit is over right now.
Yeah. Gosh.
Gene Upshaw, dog. Gene Upshaw.
I knew
Gene
it
Upshaw.
was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna be bad, but I did it anyway. So
Hey, man. First and foremost, we appreciate the fact that you took your chance, man.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that's like, no, I'm not even gonna call into the show right now because I know what's gonna I know what's gonna happen to me right now.
Shout out to Scott Bear. Where are you, bro? Where are you? No, those were definitely tough questions. I had a lot in there from
Not
2016,
easy.
2017. Gene Upshaw, the answer to 2 questions. Gene Upshaw was also the first Raiders pick in the 1967
Gene Upshaw, damn it.
NFL draft. So Gene Upshaw did not help you today, man. Did not help you today. But that was good, man. You had the balls to come on here and do that, and we respect you for that.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Those of you a big fan of the segment, make sure you head over to dc40customtees.com and pick up that You're Stalling t-shirt.
Yeah, boy.
Y'all know. So, Mr. Williams, before you get off the air, let these people know how they can find you on Twitter.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter to maybe you could help school me a little bit better on Raiders history. My dad's gonna be real upset with me if he hears this. At BD Williams 18. I do film breakdowns for Just Blog, baby. Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Bobby, Che, Kenny, you guys are the shit.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah.
We
thank
appreciate you, dog.
Keep up the big work. We're all big fans of your work as well. There's a lot of content out there. To be honest, it's hard to find good, original, well-researched stuff, and you definitely got that in spades. So
Hell yeah.
Facts.
thanks again for coming on the show. I know you're out there on the East Coast. It's late for you, and this is a bit of a sacrifice. We all got to wake up in the morning. So, BD Williams, hey, keep it smooth, dog. Drink that Colt 45 and keep pillaging.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Go Raiders.
Go
Yes,
Raiders,
sir.
dog.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
It's that music, man.
That was good, man. That was good. That was good.
That music, believe it or not, dude, it does a lot. And as soon as is when you get put on the spot, it just totally freaks you out, dude.
Yeah.
It really, and on top of that, on top of being put on the spot, the music just does it even more, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if BD was doing this like in the bathroom, like I would have, dude. So just to cut the middleman out. Dog. I'm just saying.
Just in case there's
I'm just saying, dude, because there's always a wild card, dog.
Yeah.
And last thing you want is a wild card and having to run to the bathroom, dog.
yeah, that's true.
That's a good call.
Shout out Mojo.
That's a good
Shout
call.
out Mojo. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, at least they don't have to eat hot wings while they do it.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Shout out the hot
That'd
wings.
be even worse, man, if they had the punishment sauce, bro, for missing a question. Oh.
I gotta start sending bottles out in advance of these interviews, man.
Okay, now you take a shot. Take a shot of that punishment sauce right now.
But in all fairness, you could jump on BD Williams, 2-minute drill run. But really, it would be unfair because the guy brings a lot of knowledge to the table. As you can tell during that interview, he had a lot to say. And, very well-spoken guy. I've never spoken to B.D. Williams before. I've read his stuff, but definitely brought the energy to the show.
Hell yeah.
He's a
Very
cool
well
cat,
composed. Very cool, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Hey, listen, man, these questions are difficult, bro. And anyone gets put on the spot, man, we might miss all those goddamn questions too, bro. The only reason why we might get some of those right is because we've been seeing them for a while.
By the way, the 2 defensive tackles drafted in 2017, Eddie Vanderdoes and Trayvon Hester.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
I never would have gotten it, dude. Yeah, hell no, dude.
I mean, you might get EVD.
We're too busy trying to forget those guys right now.
Yeah. Effective, apparently. Very effective. Very effective. I would have failed that run.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
Hey, listen, man, we already know the only motherfucker that can come on this show and just completely destroy the 2-minute drill is your boy Rue.
That's it.
Two
It's
people,
been
actually. 2 people.
2 times.
It's either Raider Rue or it's Murph.
That's true.
Because remember, dude, Murph
that's
killed it on that tailgate, dude.
Murph didn't fuck up. Came and he lit it up with some F-bombs, bro. He was like, he got loose.
He was loose,
He
bro.
got real loose.
Murph.
Come on back, Murph. Call in, dog.
Hey, he put the F in Murph. That's for sure. You know what I mean? We love Murph, man. Make sure you check out Raiders Fan Radio.
Hell yeah.
If you haven't already. Chances are, if you found us, you know him. So
That's right. That's right.
This is a good spot to take a break. Let's take a little break right here.
Yeah,
When we
boy.
come back, Haynes Corner. So hang tight, everybody, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah, boy.
We out.
Peace.
Sound Roll 66. Sound Roll 66.
Might survive.
Oh, man.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, dude. These
Hey, it's hitting right.
dude, I'm feeling pretty smooth on
That's
these
what I'm
fucking
saying,
time
dog.
benders,
Hey, it kicked in. It kicked in. I was like, whoa, hey, listen.
dude. Time was bending, dude. On this, dude.
Yeah. They didn't get the name wrong at all, dog. At all, dog.
That's all I gotta say is
This time bender's got us bending time over here, dog. I'm just saying.
hell yeah. Like all these colors are finally blending into each other, man. Not sure what's
Bro,
going
we
on.
gotta get that other can, bro. We gotta go get that other
It's a
can.
nitro, bro.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
After you said nitro, I was like, all right, let me see what I got. And my local beer guy,
That's a peanut butter one, right?
yeah,
That sounds fire, bro.
dude, Knob Hill's stepping up their game, bro. They're the beer.
No, hey, I went to Knob Hill the other day and I grabbed some fucking. That's where I got the fucking cream soda one.
66.
at Knob
the
Hill.
left ham.
Yeah, that's where I got. That's where I
Get
got
the
it.
hell out.
Yeah,
dude.
bro.
No
The
shit.
Knob Hill. Yeah, in my town.
Yo, I gotta get a fucking 4-pack of that, dude. Cause
That's
I told
delicious.
my boy Moki.
Yeah.
Fuck was usually
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
chat. His brother does a lot of work with wine and beer. What's up? How you doing? Not too bad. I'm pretty good. The freaking
Sound Roll 66.
yeah, I had a couple extra little bars for BD, just for some shit that I figured out like at the beginning of the 2-minute drill, that type of shit. A lot of good stuff. Yeah, and from there we can just always chop down. And that's not really down. Just if it's in there, I just hit it. Whatever, and then it just go back. It's like, oh, this is bullshit. Oh, this is good actually, man. Whatever, you know.
What's up, chat? You're stuck with me now.
Sound Roll 66.
man, I'm trying to come out to the draft. My lady wants to go. For me right now, it's a matter of vacation time. I'm running low. Last year, sapped my vacation hours. Monday night games, New York. But most importantly, time with my daughter. That's where I spend the majority of my vacation. It was with my daughter. And that's what I got to save it for. This is my daughter. Priorities.
Sound Roll 66.
Pete, that Space Dust. That's one of my favorite beers right now. That Racer 5 IPA is a classic. That's been around for a little while. That's a heavy hitter.
Roll 66.
Right? Is it? I mean, it is track 7. Hey, but you know what? It's a 20 IBUs, bro. I think that's what I caught.
Hello.
What's up, Kane? How you doing, man?
All right, what's going on?
Good. We're just going to be coming out of break right here pretty soon. You know the drill.
Yes, sir.
Get these guys locked in and ready.
How you doing, dog?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. What's up, Jay? What's up, Bobby?
What
See
up,
you,
Kane?
Good to hear from you, brother.
Hey, can you hear me, Kane?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can hear everybody.
All right, for sure, man.
All right, we're talking Raiders, greatest Raiders of all time again this week.
Woo! It's about to be fire again.
All right, guys, stand by.
This is a hard one, too. This is a hard one, too.
Yep.
All right, guys, stand by. Quiet on the set, and I'll bring us back. And we're back. Kenny Stapler, joined by Che Bobby, and of course, Raider Kane on the phone. That brings us to Kane's Corner.
Yeah.
Brought to you every week by NFLshop.com. Go over to pj4f.com and click on that NFLshop.com banner. And anything you buy, we get a little piece of the pie. Help to keep our pirate ship afloat and on the water. And Kane doing a little demo in his house right now.
Nah, sorry about that, man. I was grabbing a beer out the fridge.
I
man.
like that.
Saved it for this segment.
I like that.
Speaking of, we gotta hit the chela. The second
That's right.
chela.
Hit that chela, man.
Hit the second chela right here. Let's hit the second chela, dog. Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
saved two Racer 5s for my segment.
Oh, there you go. You still had some left over, dog.
I bought another
Oh,
shit, man. I
that's
bought
what-
a 12-pack on Friday. That motherfucker gone after tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man.
Hey, man. So Bobby came through with the two chelas for today, and he picked up this Track 7 Brewing Company. It's a nitro, and it's called Nuckin' Futs. It's a peanut butter and chocolate porter. And this one's dark right here. This one's nice, bro.
Look at this
Let me
color
pour
right
this
here,
bad
yo.
boy out. Let me pour this boy.
Look at that. It be looking almost like a Guinness, man. It is a dark mother scooter. But you know what? The IBUs are actually pretty low. It's got a 20 on the IBUs, man.
Yeah, but it ain't fucking around. It's got a 7.3 ABV.
Oh, yes,
So it's going to bring some potency in some way. Look at that head right there. That's nice.
I had to try that. Anything with peanut butter, I got to try it. No lie, that straight up tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
It sure smells like a peanut butter, dog.
Oh, man, that's delicious.
That's giving Belching Beaver a run for its money.
Right? That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. That peanut butter stout that we got from Belgian Beaver, that's right up there with this one.
I think the biggest difference between this and that was a milk stout.
Yeah.
This does not have that creaminess.
No.
It's more of a sharp
Porter.
chocolate.
Yeah, it's porter. It's got that bite to it. It's got a little bit more bite to it. The stout that we get from Belgian Beaver, It's one of our favorites for sure, right? But it's a lot smoother. It's real creamy. It's kind of sweet, more on the sweet end. This got some sweetness to it, but it's got more bite to it, man.
No, you could
For
definitely
sure.
taste that stout right there on the get, man.
But you taste everything, man. You taste the peanut butter, you taste the cacao, and you taste cacao. Cacao. You taste a little bit of that lactose in there too. There's a little milkiness to it too,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, they say
good,
that when it comes to these to these porters or whatever, that you're supposed to kind of like let it sit out a little bit, kind of let it warm up,
Yeah, the flavor comes through more.
and then it comes through. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's not really my thing. I usually crack
Now,
this
when
can
you
open
say
and I take it
cacao,
out.
do you mean cocoa?
Yes.
Yeah.
The cacao nibs, bro. You gotta, when you're brewing beer, you're not gonna throw in a fucking chocolate bar. You know what I mean? You're gonna use like some real fucking the real
No,
shit.
I was just wondering. No, because you know me from the tailgating, my beer drinking, I don't really drink to go outside of, the norm like y'all do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like the mangoes and the cucumbers and all those I was tasting throughout the season. I just stick with my regular IPA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what, man? Sometimes you gotta just put yourself out there, man.
Get out
So
that comfort zone.
it's kind of like when you try to shoot your shot at a lady, bro. You sometimes just got to get out there, man. You never know when you're gonna find that gem, bro.
You gotta throw that chocolate stout on the table.
You know what I'm
That's right,
saying?
dog.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I got me a good woman, dog.
This is a tall can.
That's what I'm
baby.
saying, bro. You know,
Chip put that tall can
gotta
on the
shoot your
table,
shot,
right?
dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a good beer. That's thicker than cold peanut butter. That's what that is.
Oh, this is delicious, dog.
I ain't
Shot
hating.
A.
I ain't hating.
Props to you.
Do your
bro.
thing.
That was good. That was good.
So, question, Shay, would you buy it again? And,
Absolutely, yes, man. This right here, like I said, this goes 1 and 2 with the Belching Beaver. If I'm looking for a darker, more creamy, heavy beer, like these are good. Like I like porters and stouts in the winter, right? They just feel like more winter beers.
I was gonna say this is a campfire beer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
bro. This is like you're out, you're camping out, you with your crew. You got the fire going. You got a sweater, you got a beanie on, and you crack open one of these bad
Yeah.
boys. This is gonna make the night right here.
Yeah, this ain't no chugger beer,
This
man.
is it
This
right here,
is
dog.
like you have to sit back
Forget
and
the
enjoy
fucking
it.
s'mores, bro. Drink one of these bad boys. You're good.
Yeah, I looked
Right?
over and
Straight up.
Chase in the buffalo plaid red lumberjack shirt all of a sudden. Yeah,
Looking like the fucking brawny man.
But
dog.
he's in that Duluth out here, dog. What are you talking about? Dog?
Bobby's got his wool cap on. He's got the flaps over his ears.
Okay, cousin
Looking
Ellie
like
had
fucking
that.
Chavo del Ocho.
Oh, Kane, let's get down to business, brother.
Yeah.
I know you're drinking that Racer 5 right now, which is a standby. It's a classic IPA. Can't go wrong with that Racer 5. It's been in the IPA game a long time. It's made its name. Very delicious. We heard the effects of that in the Amsterdam last week. A tremendous conversation. Last week's segment was a fan favorite. I'm sure we'll be
Hell
talking
yeah.
about that during the Nesties next year. That was a hell of a segment. That was a flamethrower segment. But we're about to get right back into it. So this week we continue our quest for the greatest raider of all time and our GROAT bracket segment. It's going to be going throughout the offseason. If you're joining us for your first time, let me break this down for you. So we've taken 64 Raider greats that were all submitted by our listeners, and we've separated them into 4 different bracket categories. We've already covered the big nasties on offense and defense. That includes linebackers, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, and even some tight ends in the mix and fullbacks. But this week we move on to offensive playmakers. This gets tough. As much of a reputation of the Raiders have for being big and nasty, they also have a reputation for that big play on offense. Rest in peace, Al Davis.
Yeah.
That was your bread and butter. That was your favorite. So we're going to get into some of these names today, and I will go through the list here in a moment. I tweeted that's out earlier today, so if you want to check that out, you can go to our Twitter page. I believe it's one of my last tweets. If you want to bring up the list in front of you, it's on there. Again, at Pillaging Pod, if you want to find that right now as we go through this. And we have a lot of callers. People have called in. They've given us our reasons. So we're going to go through. We're going to rank these 1 through 16. And then after this in the caller segment, if one of you happen to change our minds, we have open ears and open hearts. We may make some edits, but let's let the professionals handle this
There you go.
for now. And I use that in air quotes. So let's read this list off, guys, and I'll be going through this list again. But here you guys go. So top of this list right now, in no particular order, we got Bo Jackson, we got Jim Plunkett, Rich Gannon, Tom Flores, Todd Christensen, Cliff Branch, Tim Brown, Fred Biletnikoff, Kenny Stabler, Mark Van Egan, Daryl LaMonica, Kenny King, Charlie Garner, Derek Carr, Marcus Allen, and wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
It's no joke.
That's a limit. So
There you go.
we got the elder statesman, the OG Kane, with us. He's going to provide the wisdom, and we got Che and Bobby here filling out a couple other generations of Raider fans, and I'm just here to steer the rudder to keep us moving. So I'll be giving my 2 cents as well. So let's start at the top of this list here. We're talking in terms of top 5, but out of all these guys, we got to put a number 1 next to one of them, and that's going to be tough to do right away. Our
No.
work is cut out for us.
No.
No.
I say no.
You say no.
I say without question it should be Tom Flores.
It should be Tom Flores, number 1.
Yep.
He was a coach. He was a quarterback, general manager, not for us. But Tom Flores, a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame, a guy we talked about last week.
You're talking about a guy that was involved in all the Super Bowls. He won Super Bowls as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a head coach. We've been arguing the fact that the man has not been elected to the Hall of Fame, that it's a fucking black eye on the NFL because they're unwilling to put in this coach who is more deserving than the motherfucking coaches they put in. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't make him number 1 on this chart right now, bro. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I could back that
Breaking barriers, winning Super Bowls, doing it in all facets of the game should be number 1.
That's a good argument. Kane,
So-
what do you say to that? You want to put a 1 next to Tom
I
Flores?
can't argue that. I can't argue that fact. He's right. He should be number 1.
I like that. Going into this, I didn't see that. I thought maybe Bo Jackson or Tim Brown.
Right, no, I know.
But let's remind our listeners, we're still talking top 5 right here.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Let's go talk to Tim Brown. Hey, Tim, we gave you a 2, but we put the 1 next to Tom Flores. You think Tim Brown's going to be mad at that?
Hell no.
I don't think so.
Hell no.
And you know what? Honestly, that's the best way because, like you said, to try to rank a whole list of like 1 to 32 names, that's impossible, man. To try to
1 to 64.
Yeah, 1 to 64. That's dude. That's a terrible
Right.
type of ordeal that you got. But
Right.
when you cut it down to pieces like that, top 3, top 5, and it makes it a little bit more digestible. And remember, we're not doing the 1 through top 10 for the whole 64 names. Everybody,
Yeah.
it's
No.
just the 16 names right here in this group. And then we're gonna go start driving into
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
just
and then
trying
it's
to-
up to you. We're out of it.
Yeah.
We just setting the numbers right now.
Yeah.
Then it's on y'all.
We may have to veto 1 or 2.
Yeah, occasionally.
Just in case there's any shenanigans.
Don't be doing some crazy shit, okay?
But yeah, to me, this is a bit of a shocker. But I'm not going to argue with any of this. I think Che, I think you're right on there. And for those people that say, oh, he didn't really do much as a player per se, they're kind of like iffy about that. Look, if we were to take personnel people out of this, you want to have Ron Wolf on this bracket.
Right.
You want to have Al Davis on this bracket. So
Yep.
we have to include those guys. So Tom Flores is in here as a player and as a coach. And for that dual threat, triple Super Bowl rings, a guy that's been ousted too many times by the Hall of Fame. Well, here on the Pillaging Podcast, we're going to show you some love, Tom. You got that 1 right next to your name for now. It gets tougher after this. All right, let's move on to number 2. We're still talking top 5 here, breaking it down. Guys I see in the top 5 right now are Tim Brown and Bo Jackson and Ken Stabler.
Yep.
Those guys are definitely going to show up here in the top 5. You got Marcus Allen in there. So, Kane, let's go to you, man. Well, who's your vote for number 2 right now? Put it out there.
I might have to say Cliff Branch, just due to the fact that he was in all 3 Super Bowls.
There you go.
Wow, that's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Been a Raider till he died. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
So I'm going Cliff Branch.
And also needs to be elected in the Hall of Fame.
That's it.
Fuck you, NFL.
That's it. Is,
Yep.
there any
You're
disagreement?
in our Hall of Fame, Cliff.
Absolutely.
And Tom.
Respect.
You're in the Raider Hall of Fame for sure, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
That reasoning is alone right there, dude.
Yep.
The
All right.
3 Super Bowls. I mean, that's enough.
No disagreement from the panel here in
Nope.
the Crow's Nest.
Nope.
Cliff Branch, you get that number 2. All right, here we go. Starting to get tight. You got 3 more left on the top 5 in this bracket. I'm going to go ahead and say, for me, it's between Bo Jackson and Tim Brown, but, there's only one guy with the nickname Mr. Raider. And so when we're going top 3, my vote here is for Tim Brown.
I like that.
For me, it'd be between the Snake and Tim Brown.
That's a good call too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Snake. Yeah, I was gonna say Kenny Stabler. Yeah, before Tim Brown.
Yeah, so I guess my argument for Brown is he never won Brown never won a championship with the Raiders, but he played through so many disgusting seasons with this team.
Yep.
And still
produced
and proved that moniker, Mr. Raider. He didn't finish as a Raider. I think that's maybe a mark against him here.
But he didn't sign a 1-day contract when he came. He didn't sign I felt like he signed
he
a
did.
contract just to retire as a Raider, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to
did.
fucking
He
Buccaneers, bro. Come on now. We know that he just went there because he wasn't ready to give up the game.
Yeah.
And he went over with John just to spend that last year, right?
Yeah.
I don't hold that shit against
To get
him.
that 100 touchdown.
Yeah, man.
He left the Raiders with 99 or something like that, or 97 or something.
Right.
That's
Really?
right.
Really?
So,
Did he get the 100 touchdown with Tampa
yeah,
Bay?
he got it in Oakland. He got it in Oakland in a Tampa Bay uniform.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that.
That's crazy.
I was at that game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Because I remember
really
they
good.
made a whole big thing about that. Like, oh, yeah, he's finally going to get it in Oakland, but he's not going to be wearing the uniform.
Damn. That's good knowledge.
But it was deserved.
yeah.
Right? It was well deserved. And listen, Tim Brown will never be thought of as anything but a fucking Raider, bro. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like you said, how many fucking quarterbacks did he have to play with?
Yeah.
We talk about Derek Carr and how many fucking coaches and how many fucking schemes and how many receivers he's had. What about Tim Brown?
Yeah.
What about Tim Brown? How many fucking quarterbacks did he have to go through? How many coaches did he have to go through?
That's like a
and
phone book.
still perform, bro.
That's like a phone book
and
full of
still
names.
was one of the top receivers in the fucking game. Get out of here, bro.
So I'm going to yield to you guys. I'm not going to put Tim Brown at the number 3 slot. I'm going to say Ken Stabler here. Looking at the trend of this top 5 list right now as we go through these 16 names, you got 2 guys that should be in the Hall of Fame. It makes sense to put a guy that is in the Hall of Fame right behind him in Ken Stabler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? He
Absolutely. No, I have no, but I think Tim Brown has to follow that.
He's right behind him.
He's got to follow that.
No, he's not right behind him.
Okay.
He's not right behind
Who you
them
got?
guys. I got Marcus Allen. Marcus
Ooh.
Allen won a Super Bowl.
It's true.
Marcus Allen was riding with the night.
I don't know, man.
whole
I
Washington team
He
was
was.
following
It's Super
to
Bowl
the end
MVP,
zone.
right?
Cliff Branch
Super Bowl
following into
MVP.
the end zone. These is memories. These is things you got to remember. Tim Brown didn't have no really memories like that you could just be like highlight reel, like be like for life. You know
bro,
what I'm saying?
but he did though. Even though he didn't win championships, he did have fucking memories. You have a Tim Brown that's fucking hadn't returned fucking punts in fucking forever, taking one of the
But that
fucking
wasn't
house,
a
bro.
Super Bowl.
But I know, bro. But that is still fucking memories. You're saying that he doesn't have the memory. There's a lot of memories. Of
for
Tim
me,
Brown,
we're talking
bro.
about
He fucking killed the Denver Broncos. Denver Bronco fans talk about fucking Tim Brown all the time, bro. Like
He
that
almost became a
motherfucker
Denver
killed him.
Bronco for a hot second.
Yeah, he almost did, but he didn't, and he killed him. He kept killing him, kept getting in the end zone.
So Marcus Allen's a good call. I swore you were going to go Bo Jackson there because last week you were telling us Bo Jackson, Bo Jackson, Bo
When I start
Jackson.
thinking about Super Bowls and achievements and
I hear you.
accolades and everything
I hear
with
you.
players,
I hear you.
I'm judging. I'm going on the Super Bowls.
But the
Well,
one
yeah.
thing, but the one big strike against Marcus Allen for me personally is that he shunned the Raiders, man.
Yeah.
Well, the Raiders shunned him.
Yeah, they did, but I mean,
That was a tug of war.
Al Davis shunned him.
But I see where you're going, Bobby. You're talking about seeing Marcus Allen in the Chiefs uniform. That's what you're
and
talking
not only
about.
that, but he also like he was all about that. And that's what hurt me the most, man, because that cat has so much potential. He was so great. And just to completely turn himself, just turn his back on the silver and black, I was like, oh, man, come on. What did we
he
do
turned
to
his
you?
back on Al Davis.
Yeah, you're right.
He's a Raider now. He's back in the fold. And he, too, also scored his 100th touchdown as a Chief in a Raider stadium.
Yeah, he did.
So it's funny how shit work out.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, let's go. Let's real quick. Let's just relive this because we know Al had his issues with fucking Marcus Allen, But part of the reason why Marcus Allen was also thrown to the side was because of Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And if you really look at it from that standpoint, if you're just talking about fucking comparing player to player, the kind of player that Bo Jackson was, can you really be upset about the fact that they were fucking trying to move on? Like, yeah, Marcus Allen, MVP, Super Bowl winner, whatever. But Bo Jackson was a once-in-a-lifetime athlete, bro. Like, without injury, that motherfucker would have been the greatest Raider of all time, hands down.
Yeah. Greatest NFL player of all time.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But
you can't.
injury halted that, so we didn't get to see it.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. But I'm just saying, in terms of what they did to Marcus Allen when they got their hands on Bo Jackson, they said, you know what, we're gonna have to. Sorry, Marcus, you're gonna have to play fullback. You're gonna have to block some people. You're gonna have to catch passes out the backfield because Bo's gonna come over here, halfway through the season and take over for you.
Yeah. So
Can't be mad at that.
I'm with Kane. I'm in Kane's corner.
No, I'm with it
No,
too, though.
no pun intended. Right now, and to Kane's point, I mean, there would be no Black Sunday without Marcus Allen.
You're right.
His Super Bowl rushing record, longest rush from scrimmage, held up for decades. He is on almost every NFL highlight reel when it comes to greatest plays, greatest Super Bowl plays for sure.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest factors that showed up and stunned the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, the Super Bowl champion returning Washington Redskins. That's another point that people forget. They were the returning champs, bro.
Nobody had us winning that game.
Just
We showed
killed
up.
them.
Showed up and stomped a mud hole in that ass.
And Marcus Allen fucking with that cutback, bro. He running one way and coming all the way back around. That's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of beauty.
And even further to Kane's point, and you guys had a good back and forth on this. You guys are both right. As far as Tim Brown creating memories, yes, he had some. But Tim Brown's bread and butter was catching 7-yard slants over the middle and just knifing you to death all day. When we talk about paper cuts, Tim Brown is one of the biggest paper cuts in Raiders history. But when it comes to Marcus Allen highlights, you remember those clear.
Yep, that's
clear
true.
as day.
Yep.
So, all right, so we're going to put Marcus Allen in there at 4. We only got one spot left in the top 5. So you got names left on the board: Bo Jackson, Jim Plunkett, Rich Gannon, Christensen, Tim Brown. So I'm really Freddie B. So that top 5 spot, that's getting real tight right now.
Jim Plunkett on that list too, right?
Yeah. So number 5, I'm looking at Brown, Biletnikoff, and Bo Jackson. That's who I'm really, really looking at in this top 5, fighting for that last spot in the top 5. Who do you put there at 5? Let me just say this. Tim Brown and Bo Jackson show up on most, talking about Murph earlier, they show up on most people's Raiders Mount Rushmore.
It's because of these reasons, right? So Tim Brown, for his longevity with the silver and black, the amount of years he played, the numbers that he put up, like we said, with trash fucking quarterbacks. Who knows what his fucking numbers would have been like if he had a quarterback like a fucking Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, you could argue that fact. You could really argue that fact. This guy was putting up 1,000-yard seasons and fucking, 90, 80 catches a season with nobodies. Okay? If he had a fucking Super Bowl winning quarterback, that kind of talent, not a Jay Schrader throwing him the fucking ball, right? You might be arguing something different. But Bo Jackson, he's responsible for a generation, bro. Yeah. He's responsible for a fucking generation of Raider fans, that the Raider fans that fucking started in the 80s, bro. That's my age, right? 82, I'm born 82, okay? So he's responsible for a generation of Raider fans because we grew up with that fucking Tecmo Bowl. We grew up watching fucking all the commercials, the Nike Just Do It commercials. This guy he took over. He took over every fucking facet of sports. Michael Jordan was a fucking side piece for Nike compared to fucking Bo Jackson.
That's true.
Yep.
He was.
Everybody had that Bo Jackson shoulder pads and baseball bat.
Yeah, Michael
poster.
Jordan was a side piece. They were like, yeah, you're pretty good, but this motherfucker over here plays baseball and football.
9 games a season, dog.
And he's murking people.
Yo, I've been a wiffle bat like that, dog.
So to piggyback on your point, Che, about defining an era of Raider fans, let me put it to the panel like this. How many people became a Raider fan because of Tim Brown versus how many people became a Raider fan because of Bo Jackson? And for that reason, I want to put this 5 next to Bo Jackson. So what do you say about that, Bobby?
Honestly, that's a very good way of saying it, man, because that's who brought me into the fold. It was all about Bo Jackson because of those highlight reels, because of that power that you saw, man. And he really was out there a lot more. Yes, it may have been marketing that was trying to sell that image of Bo Jackson and not the Raiders, but honestly, like that, we have to include everything into this, not just the stats, but how many people know the player within the nation as well as outside of the nation. And that's a big thing as well, man, because we're all about, the Raider Nation worldwide.
Right.
And it's, and now we have our capital, which is Vegas. But I mean, that's, who brought you into the fold. And that's what it always has been.
Right.
And a lot of for us cats in the 80s always has been Bo Jackson, man.
Right.
Hey, your boy the good dogs in the chat talking about pro stars. You guys remember fucking pro stars?
Yeah.
Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky, and fucking Michael Jordan. They were superheroes.
Oh man.
Not to mention the fact that in my shady party days, they call me Blow Jackson. You know what I mean?
Well, then that's it. That's it, man. Go ahead and put the fucking 5
That's a
next.
5 right there. That's the certified 5. Man.
Y'all just go. So both. Hold on.
What do you think? What do you think, Kane? Is Bo Jackson
huh?
at 5? At 5.
I mean, last week, bro. Just to say, last week you said Bo Jackson's the greatest Raider of all time.
But
And
this
once
week,
again-
I'm gonna have to say Jim Plunkett.
Okay.
Jim Plunkett.
No, I'm not mad at that.
2 Super Bowls. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right up there with those top 4.
Now, I don't disagree with that because growing up, Jim Plunkett was my favorite player. He's a Bay Area guy, won 2 Super Bowls. But you look at those Super Bowl teams, you look at the defenses they had, and you look at the fact that he was also playing with Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
So how much of that happens without Marcus Allen as well? And that's no disrespect to Jim Plunkett, but also to your point on the previous conversation
and Cliff Branch.
and Cliff Branch, the previous point we were just making, you had said, as far as memorable plays, and not to say that Jim Plunkett doesn't have those. He took the very first wild card team ever to a Super Bowl victory, and he did so coming off the bench behind Dan Pastorini, right?
Yep.
But when you put his highlight reel up against Bo Jackson and memorable moments, talking about memorable moments, I'm going to say Bo Jackson, that Brian Bosworth play alone.
Man.
It's a fucking commercial now, bro.
Right?
They made a fucking Kia commercial. Was it a Kia commercial?
Yeah,
a
it
Sorrento,
was.
a Kia Sorrento fucking commercial.
So I think that the suggestion to put Plunkett there at 5 is a ballsy suggestion, and it's one I respect a lot because I really feel that Jim Plunkett gets overlooked way too much by Raider Nation. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for that dude. It was not pretty when he played. We talk about Rich Gannon. Before Rich Gannon, there was Jim Plunkett. Yeah. Jim Plunkett, he was a blue collar player. He packed his lunch pail and he came to work. It did not look pretty, but he got the damn job done.
Yep.
But I'm still gonna say Bo Jackson. He is an icon in sports history that transcends his time with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he never played for the Patriots, and he never played for the 49ers.
Facts.
Right,
Those are motherfucking
right,
facts,
right.
man.
That's facts. That's facts. But I'm gonna stick with what I said. But I'm outvoted. It's all good. I like I said, Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls in 2 different cities.
He did. He did.
He
did.
and
I love that you put him in there for that. I really do. But let's not overlook the fact that he can still make top 10 on this list, and I believe he deserves that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be fighting hard for him here.
I mean, I argue top 7, right? We're right now we're arguing between Bo Jackson, Tim Brown, and Jim Plunkett, and I ain't mad at any of those.
Yeah, no,
honestly,
no.
whatever order they go in, I'm not really mad at any of those because Jim Plunkett deserves it from the standpoint of being one of the first minority quarterbacks, right? As far as Hispanics go.
Yep.
And then also a 2-time Super Bowl winner. We've been arguing about his induction as well, right? This is the third guy, right? There's a trio of players on the Raiders that deserve to be in the fucking hall right now. And that's Tom Flores.
That's right.
That's Cliff Branch, and that's Jim Plunkett.
Yep.
And
Lester Hayes.
yeah, well, yeah. There's plenty more. There's plenty more, but there's a lot of these motherfuckers have been hanging on, waiting, and we already lost Cliff Branch, right? we're hoping that Tom Flores can continue to live the good life and continue his life. He's getting old in age.
Yeah.
And Jim Plunkett, you know, you just never know, bro. You just never know. So you want to see these great Raider players inducted in the Hall of Fame real soon, man. You know, Jack Tatum, there's a bunch of players that you can name off of these 70s and 80s teams that should be shoo-ins in our eyes, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, man, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the guys that are left on this list. To put them in whatever order, I'm not gonna even be mad. If you said fucking Bo Jackson was 7, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if Jim Plunkett was 5. I wouldn't be mad if Tim Brown was 5. It doesn't. These are all greats, bro. That's the tough part of this, right?
And this is the toughest category we've tackled.
That's why this is so hard. That's why
absolutely.
This is so hard. This is really hard. So I had to, and when I was looking at the list earlier, I started separating by who accolades.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard to just make a list of, all these names in an order. So
honestly,
in order to put them in order, I said, okay, who won a Super Bowl? How many did you win?
Yeah.
How many championships did you go to?
Yeah.
How many championships did you play in? How many times did you make the playoffs? I just went down the list, and I just made my little list from that. So,
Kane, you sound like me last week, bro, trying to argue with you about Chester McLaughlin.
No. Hey, that's why these conversations are great, man.
No, hey, man, this is what I'm saying. It's good conversation. It's always fun to fucking,
that's why we're
to
here.
shoot the shit with you guys and figure this out.
And not only that too, but we're talking about the top 10.
Yeah.
And that's still nothing to sneeze at as well, man.
Not at all. Not out of a list of 60. Well, 16 in this category, to be fair. But so now on the outside looking in of the top 10, where we're here at number 6, we got guys like Jim Plunkett and Tim Brown and Freddie B that are still not in there, not to mention Daryl LaMonica, right? George Blanda, the bomber. So at number 6, I'm going to shoot, man. Kane brought up some good points. I'm going to say Jim Plunkett at number 6.
There you go.
And Kane, I know where you're at. You wanted Plunkett at 5. Does anybody disagree with Plunkett at 6?
No, I think it's fair because we overruled Kane on Bo Jackson, and he had some great points. So I say it's only fair to put Plunkett at 6, bro.
No, definitely, dude.
Yeah.
And especially how y'all brought up the idea as well, or the fact about him being a minority quarterback, dude.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well,
breaking barriers, bro. It's a fucking Modelo don't recognize it, but we do.
That's the Raider way,
raised
dude.
by blind parents. How easy could that be?
Oh man,
raised by blind parents, multi-sport athlete, tremendous wrestler in high school, tremendous pitcher in high school. I believe he played for James Lick in San Jose. Yeah,
James Lick.
Yeah. So Jim Plunkett, man.
Shout out.
I've told you guys a story about when my dad got to go to Jim Plunkett's house.
What?
Yeah, you told me this. Yeah, I think you said that shit on air.
I haven't heard it.
Where your pops went to paint his house, right? Because he was working for paint. What's the paint company?
He and my dad worked for Kellymore for 45 years. He's an outside paint salesman. He worked mainly with big contractors and stuff. Jim Plunkett comes into the store one day, as a walk up as a retail customer, which is not my dad's purview at all. But it's a corporate company, so they have their guidelines about how your office needs to look and all that. Well, my dad didn't stick to none of that. The walls in his office,
Raiders.
The walls in his office were painted silver, with black trim.
Hell yeah.
Walls were covered with Raiders memorabilia.
Hell yeah.
And so the minute Jim Plunkett walked into the store, they were like, "Go get Roy." So they go back to get him. They bring him out, and my dad's ecstatic. He's beaming. He puts his hands out. Glad to meet you, Jim Plunkett. And Jim's like, I'm looking to repaint some walls in my home, and I didn't realize how many different types of paint there were, not to mention what color. My dad says, well, to really understand what type of paint we need, different services require different solutions. I'm really going to have to take a look at this. Would you mind if, maybe I did a walkthrough with you? Real slick, right? Real slick.
Smooth. That was smooth.
Yeah, Jim's like, yeah, no problem. I'll bring you out to the house. So my dad got to go out there and, said a really nice home. I think it was in Redwood City at the time.
Yeah.
He had a football helmet-shaped pool. He had a Raider logo at the bottom of it.
Dope.
Yeah, he had
dope.
He had his trophy room. He had all of his uniforms up in there, from high school through college all the way to the pros. All of his trophies in there. He said he had the laminate in his bathroom. My dad was in every room. Of that
Yeah,
house.
he was. Yeah, he was.
He had to be thorough for the job, right? It was for the job.
Jim was like, Roy, I only need the guest room painted.
He's like,
It's
"No,
okay, Jim. I just need to make sure.
I got you, Jim.
I don't want to throw off the color scheme going on within the household.
So, yeah, right. I guess underneath the laminate on the bathroom counters, he had Raider shields in there too. So,
fucking dope.
I made a joke earlier. He played for the Patriots and the Niners, but make no mistake, Jim Plunkett's a Raider
Hell yeah.
for life.
Yep.
For life.
So,
After hearing that story about his house and all his Raiders and his ultimate commitment to have his house with Raider stuff in it like that, I'm ready to bump Bo Jackson's ass again back from 5. Hearing that story, shit.
That's
the
true.
other cool thing too, Jim Plunkett, a former commentator
There you
for,
go.
for Raiders
There you
games.
go.
So, I
And
remember that.
just made his appearance on the recent Las Vegas commercial, right?
Oh yeah,
People were all upset because he was wearing 20. They didn't get to his 2020 season in Las Vegas, so he had a 20 jersey on. They were mad because it was him and McFadden, and they're like, "Yeah, McFadden was 20, but what about Plunkett? Why is he wearing number 20? It's the 2020 season, yo.
yeah. Okay.
Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get mad. Slow down. Pump your brakes.
Yeah, and he was on the Silver and Black show with Greg Papa. I used to watch that. I don't know,
Yeah.
not
There you
too
go.
many people knew about that show,
Yeah,
but
it was a good
I used
show.
to watch it.
On a KICU 36, I think they used to come out on like Saturday afternoons or something like that. Always look forward to that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's funny, as many great quarterbacks as worn the number 16. Myself as a Raider fan, when I hear the number 16, I think of Jim Plunkett, man. Jim Plunkett's been my favorite
Absolutely.
quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So I like that guy. All right, so now we're looking at number 7. Still a lot of good names on this list. Todd Christensen, Tim Brown still hasn't been ranked. Freddie Bolitnikoff, man, that's a travesty. Freddie B ain't on here. Another guy that needs to get voted in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I say right now it's between Timmy B and Freddie B.
Yeah.
I mean, and see, and I had it different on my list. I had Kenny King.
Okay.
Oh.
he scored a important touchdown. Kenny King did.
Another highlight reel.
Yeah.
You can look it up on YouTube right now.
That's true.
Ooh.
In the Super Bowl, Witt got a ring. Still fucks with the Raiders deeply. I mean, it just that's just me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going with accolades because this list is too hard for just to look at numbers. You got to have done something else other than make stats.
Yeah.
Stats come and they count, but what did they do as far as your accolades? Did you win a Super Bowl from it? Did you probably made many Pro Bowls, but really what you play this game for ultimately is to win a championship.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that, then you didn't succeed in your goal, in my opinion.
Right. And Freddie B did so.
There you go.
know,
That's why I said that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Freddie B right now.
and it's hard to think of the Raiders of yesteryear without picturing Freddie B with that stringy hair, all sweated out, the tape on the arms and the hands, blood stains on the tape. Just
His Super Bowl highlight touchdown run where he looked all awkward running down the field. You know,
man, Freddie B was one of the grittiest looking wide receivers. That guy looked like he had been through war after games.
Freddie B like the first? Was he the first of the wide receivers though? The first of the like real like mainstay
The
wide
first of the great
receivers.
ones.
Yeah,
Probably
that's what
one
I'm
of
saying.
the first of the great.
Mainstay, right? Like mainstay, like memorable white guy receivers. Bro.
Yeah. So let's put Freddie B at 7, which
That's true.
I think it's fair, bro.
is far too low of a number for Freddie B. But
Yeah, it
let's,
is.
Let's face the fact.
But we're trying over here. We're
is-
trying.
This is a crowded room right now.
This is not easy, dog.
Yeah, no disrespect.
not easy.
Raider Roo says the amount of disrespect Freddie B is getting in here.
It's no disrespect to anybody, Rue. We're having trouble over here.
Yeah,
dog. This
we
is
are.
not easy.
We are. Raider Roo.
this is not easy. Trust me, it's not easy.
Rue doesn't understand that we're all growing white hair as just sitting here
Look at
thinking
my
about
beard,
this.
bro. I got
Hey.
a little fucking salt and pepper going on right here.
And you know what? Freddie B parks in the parking lot right across from us, just like us
Yeah.
regular fans.
Yeah.
Man. Seen him getting out with his entourage a couple times. Got a chance to shake that man's hand this year.
That's right, yo. He puts on his
Yeah, I
pants
got
with
a
one leg
picture
at a
with him when
time.
I call you getting out the car.
And I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. As far as like, I got a chance to hang with Kane at the Ricky's party with John Gruden. There was legends all over the place. And Kane was like, I've met a lot of these cats before. I'm not really into getting my picture taken with just anybody. So the fact that Kane took a selfie with Freddie B tells me like that's how much, Kane, who I look up to as far as when it comes to this generation of Raiders players, that's how much Freddie B means to Kane. Is like, I need to get a picture taken with this dude.
There you go.
And of course, Kane and I got a picture taken with Lester Hayes too, which was real cool.
Nice.
That's I love that picture, man. I love that picture.
Yeah.
So let's put Freddie B there at 7. Again, far too low for Freddie B, but Freddie, you're in the top 10. So you're going to get probably a favorable matchup there at number 7.
Right.
So let's go to number 8, Tim Brown. We've been talking about since for the last 3 episodes.
I think you got to go Timmy.
Brown. So I think that'll actually put Freddie B and Tim Brown in the bracket against each other, which is going to be a hell of a conversation.
That's going to be interesting.
And I want that. Of course, we put Brown at 8. That means somebody else that also deserves to be at 8 or possibly even 5 isn't going to be there. But that doesn't matter because the tournament hasn't started yet. Can we put Tim Brown at number 8? Raider Kane, what do you say about that?
Yeah, because he did make the Hall of Fame, and all those other guys that we named on the list didn't. So that does stand out. So that's an accolade that I appreciate, when a player makes the Hall of Fame, especially for my team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
If the Raiders had managed to assemble the team around Tim Brown, like some of these other names that we've mentioned, there's no doubt in my mind Tim Brown would have gotten a Super Bowl. He would have hosted the Lombardi Trophy, and more than likely could have been a Super Bowl MVP with the way he played and how integral Tim Brown was in all the different offenses he played in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had John Kingdon on, he talked about, the misstep we had in drafting Todd Marinovich over Brett Favre. Imagine if Brett Favre played with Tim Brown, bro.
Dude.
Fuck.
Damn.
Goddamn.
God damn it anyways.
Anyways.
No, wow, that's unimaginable.
Damn.
We probably have at least 2 more Super Bowls by now,
Right.
or we might not have. Who knows? We've been so dysfunctional. I don't know if Brett Favre would.
It's true. I mean, hey, Brett Favre didn't pan out with Atlanta, bro. He was drafted by the Falcons, and he ended up in Green Bay. So that's a good point.
Yeah, who knows? What happens if he lands in the hot mess that we were in at that time?
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, it's still a good point. So we got 2 slots left in the top 10. Let me reset the names left on this list. This is going to be tough. Rich Gannon is in there. Todd Christensen. Ooh, Todd Christensen, boy.
Yeah.
Mark Van
Sweet
Egan.
feet, bro. Todd Christensen had the sweet feet.
Sweet feet. Mark Van Egan is a dark horse here. Daryl LaMonica. Ooh. Kenny King. Charlie Garner, who I don't know that belongs in the top 10. Exciting player, not there. Derek Carr and George Blanda, a guy that played maybe longer than any Raider player in history. I'd have to check the facts on that one, but George Blanda played. When did George Blanda retire? He was what? 47 later?
He was old as fuck, right? He was gray haired, fucking wrinkly face, bro. He was an old dude. That's what, and especially back in the days, right? Like 40 was like you were 70.
40 wasn't your 70, bro.
48. Yeah, he played 26 seasons.
Look at that face, bro. That don't look like no 40-year-old, bro. That looks like he's at least 75, bro.
Well, he probably smoked cigarettes. That's
Hell yeah, he did. Fucking cigars.
He smoked all the cigarettes, dog.
Yeah, he was drinking all the liquor, smoking all the cigarettes.
I think back then you could smoke cigarettes on the sideline.
That's exactly what the fuck he was doing, dog. Shit.
I'm gonna put it in for George Blanda right here at number 8. I'm gonna kind of throw a curveball at you guys. I'm gonna say 26 seasons in the NFL, played to the age of 48, played both kicker and quarterback.
Yeah.
George Blanda, that's my vote here at number 8.
And for a while he was the all-time leader in points, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, playing those two positions, you better be talk about players that left it out all on the field. I mean, especially at that time, they didn't have the technology. The medical, treatment wasn't the same. Blanda, man, he gave up years of his life to play in the NFL, and that's
damn.
You can't argue that. So
I was gonna say the Mad Bomber, dude, but yeah.
Is Jim Otto on this list?
No, that's the big nasties, bro. We did that last week.
We ranked him. Jim Otto ranked.
First week.
Yeah, Jim Otto ranked number 1 in that category.
Yep.
So Jim Otto,
okay.
He was there. Yeah, he got his due. So, you're talking about Gannon, Christensen, Egan, LaMonica, King, Garner, Derek Carr, and George Blanda. My vote's for Blanda. I won't be mad if you guys disagree. I'm just throwing out there right now.
I'm not gonna disagree. Let's go Blanda, bro.
I'm going Gannon.
Ooh, Rich Gannon.
I mean, I like that too, man. I'm not mad at fucking Gannon. Yo,
Two MVPs, went to the Super Bowl and made a fool of himself because the coach we got right now, but he did make it.
Yeah.
Had 3 wonderful seasons that you still think about today. That's all you holding on to as a Raider fan right now.
Exactly.
If you grew up in that era, those years are what you're holding on. You're still talking about the Snow Bowl today. You're still talking about the Super Bowl with John Gruden. You're still talking about Tim Brown, Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice. That's everybody talks about
you're
that.
still
Why
talking
would this
about
guy
Tony
not be-
Saragusa's fat ass too.
Yeah. You could do a Twitter search on Rich Gannon tonight, and you will see tweets posted in the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
I guarantee you.
And I'll probably post a fucking tweet later on with a fucking gif
Look,
of him
they-
saying,
they-
"Put some respect
they-
on my
they
name."
compared this dude to Derek Carr. You got people out here saying, "Oh, Richard Gannon only won one cold season, one cold game in the cold weather." Actually, he won 2. We got snubbed in the Snow Bowl.
There you
but,
go. There you go.
know,
There
he
you go.
only won 1, and they saying, "Oh, Carr only won 1." You know, so you getting people comparing your This is 20 years ago, and this dude is still being talked about. This is all you remember.
Yeah.
So I got to go Rich Gannon.
Ooh, that's a hot take right there.
That's a hot take.
That's a good one, though.
That's a hot take. That's a fucking fantastic take. And you know what? I'm not gonna be mad either one, bro. So I'm good, Bobby. You could be the deciding factor here. You could be the tiebreaker, bro.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind
I'm
of.
good either one. I'm good Blanda. I'm good Gannon. 'Cause
I'm still lightweight.
That's Rich, the jukebox cannon Gannon, bro. Okay, that's me and my brother used to sit down, watch Raider games. We'd be like, "Fucking Rich, the jukebox cannon, bro." That was our nickname because he could run, he could juke your ass, and he could hit that fucking pass from any angle, bro. That's
Including
Didn't
the
he
shot.
run
Gannon
for like
played his
600
ass off,
yards in
dog.
one season?
Yeah, bro. And he
In
should
his
have.
MVP year.
And
Derek Carr will never rush for 600 yards in
No,
a season.
no,
Never.
no,
And in John Gruden offense, mind you. Now, this is what Homeboy said earlier. I really liked how he broke down Carr and John Gruden's offense. And Carr doesn't have that fire to go back to the sideline and be like, "Motherfucker, I hear what you're saying, but I'm finna do some shit my damn self, too."
No.
Whatever Gannon and Gruden did together, they made magic. Gannon wasn't scared to fight back.
Hell no.
This dude is scared to fight back. I like
Nah,
the way
he's
he
trying-
broke
he's-
that shit down.
He's
You
too
know what I'm
busy
saying?
trying to be liked by everybody, bro.
So-
He's too busy trying to be nice and shit.
Yeah.
Gannon didn't
Khalil
give a
Mack is
fuck.
my best friend. Antonio Brown is my best friend. Man, get the fuck out of here. Antonio Brown just ditched your fucking organization, and that's your best friend?
Antonio Brown
That's not
fucking
my
said.
quarterback.
Antonio Brown fucking went out and said, "I'll buy fucking Derek Carr's house in Las Vegas."
So, really quick,
I'm just saying.
before Bobby
you gonna be
weighs
cool with
Bobby weighs in here, and this is no disrespect to anybody here, but we're talking about the greatest Raiders of all time.
Exactly.
Right now, we're talking about the top 10 playmakers in Raider history on offense. Rich Gannon played 3 years for this team. He did great things in those 3 years. But are you going to put him, a guy that played for this team for 3 years, above a Daryl LaMonica?
And that's
above
actually
a Todd Christensen? Are we really going to do that right now?
and that's
And
actually
George
why
Bland.
I am.
that's
But
why
the-
I'm
but the-
actually still hanging on to Daryl LaMonica, dude. Honestly,
But the argument was for Blanda though.
Oh yeah.
The argument was for Blanda.
Right. So I mean, really,
If I'm going any of those guys you name, I'm going Gannon. I had some of my most exciting years while he was the quarterback
You're
for
right.
this team.
You're right. And I
will always appreciate that.
And listen,
if he makes the
Well,
Hall of
I mean,
Fame,
his
he'll go in. He
entire-
can't go in any other.
Kane is
uniform.
Absolutely.
Kane is the elder
all the other shit was Gannon should also own the most consecutive passes completed record, if not for those fucking refs that one catch out of bounds. He would have broke Dan Marino's fucking consecutive completions in that season too, bro.
yeah. And he
Remember that shit? You remember?
broke the passing yard
And that was-
record that year,
Yeah, I think he did.
or
I
just
think-
shy of it.
I think he.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
he did
against
break.
it was against the Steelers. It was
That's
a
right.
night game against the Steelers.
Yeah, and try game too.
It was a sideline pass, and
Yeah.
he caught it inbounds, and they fucking called it out of bounds. There was no replay back then.
yeah.
So they broke his streak, and he would have broken that streak with that fucking pass right there.
Yeah. I remember watching that game with Paulie, who's a Niners fan, and obviously he wasn't paying a real close attention with the Raiders. And wasn't really buying in all the hype, and I was like, watch this game, and he was like, damn, y'all really doing it for real, huh? And I was like, yeah. All right, so there it is. Bobby, weigh in on this, man. I'm sorry, we keep talking, man.
I'm still hanging on to LaMonica, dude.
Okay.
I'm still gonna hang on to him, dude, because
So you're just gonna throw a third fucking name in
always,
there, Bobby.
dude. I'm gonna throw a wrench in all of this, man, because I mean, come on, dude. There's a reason why he was called the Mad Bomber. Dude.
You know what?
We're talking about throwing the pigskin down the field, dog, and we have a cat that actually had that name right there.
The
dude.
Mad
So-
Bomber. Yeah, no, I know.
So I mean, my thing is as well is that you have to also show respect to that history that we got, man.
Yeah.
And we're over
what
here.
is the chat saying about this? What is the chat saying?
They're,
good question.
They're screaming. They're screaming for Daryl LaMonica.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, then let's do it. Let's go with the chat because we can't make up our fucking minds. Chat, you got this one.
All right.
You got this one.
Yep,
Chat.
let's do that.
I like the chat.
All right. So Daryl
'Cause
LaMonica.
ain't none of us gonna change our mind on none of that.
All right. So Daryl LaMonica at number 9, and let's move on to 10 since we were really talking about Blanda and Gannon. When it really comes down to production in such a short period of time, Rich Gannon put up stats that were meaningful, that lifted this team out of the darkness when we needed it most. He was a breath of fresh air, not for just the Oakland Raiders, but for the NFL in general, and was able to orchestrate one of the most, at the time, complicated offenses that we had seen in the league.
Yep.
And really did a lot with the players he had around him. I mean, let's face it, Brown and Rice, Hall of Fame wide receivers, but at that time they weren't burning rubber. They weren't losing anybody.
no.
But yet, Rich Gannon, he put him in a position to succeed. He had that offense clicking in all cylinders. He could make throws from every arm slot position, like Chase said. In terms of like, in the same conversation as a guy like Jim Plunkett, Rich Gannon willing to risk it all to make it happen and win. Let's put Rich Gannon in there at number 10.
Yeah, I like that.
We're gonna do
I
that.
agree with that.
I like that.
So what's our top 10 look like, man?
All right, so our top 10. Let me go ahead and sort this so it's a little easier to read for me. We got Tom Flores, Cliff Branch, Kenny Stabler, Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson, Jim Plunkett, Fred Blitnikoff, Tim Brown, Daryl LaMonica, Rich Gannon. Now on the outside of the top 10, we got Todd Christensen, Mark Van Egan, Kenny King, Charlie Garner, Derek Carr, George Blanda. Who gets that number 11? I'm going to go ahead and say Todd Christensen.
I ain't mad at that.
What do you think? What do you think, Bobby? I feel like Todd should have made the top 10, and so to put him at 11, I don't know. I think he deserves to be there. I just put the 11 there. What does it look like?
From the last,
So is the wait a minute. The Ghost ain't on this list, Casper?
I think he was on the first list, wasn't he?
Casper.
Oh, see, I wasn't on that show, y'all,
Yeah.
fellas.
Yeah,
so
no,
I didn't.
yeah,
I fell asleep that night. Yeah,
We had to get
So-
Casper in there somewhere, so we put him in there with the big nasties, kind of using some really loose logic that he's a tight end, and therefore we put him there. Again, these categories aren't real. We weren't real strict. I mean, there were some guys that just needed to be in here. We had to find spots for him. So Casper ended up in that first category. He's a playmaker, but he ended up over there. So
and very well he should have, and I hope he made the top 5.
where do we have him at?
Yeah, top 5.
He got
yeah.
one of the best catches you'll ever see in
Yep.
football. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
the post to the Ghost.
Yeah,
Come
he's-
on, you know what I'm saying?
It's funny.
Against the Colts.
It's funny.
You remember that play?
Oh, yeah.
He's looking for the ball. He can't find the ball. Looking for it. His back is turned. All of a sudden, he make the catch.
Yeah, I mean,
Man, that's
top 100 plays in all NFL. So it's funny that you say that because Casper came in on that list at 5, so he's top 5 on that list. But I'm going to say Todd Christensen at 11. I think this is a guy that should have been in the top 10 for us right here. Again, this is just the beginning, right, guys? The tournament hasn't started yet. We're not just ranking and walking away from this. We're just slotting these guys out. So whether you agree with it or not, this list right now, it's not gospel. It's just a setup to what's going to happen next.
I would say I got
So-
Christensen, then Blanda.
Okay, so Todd Christensen at 11 and then Blanda at 12. Getting ahead, which we've done, which is, I like that. We're moving along.
I agree with that. Blanda should be on this list.
Well, not only that too, because I mean, you guys were making a very, very compelling argument earlier for the top 10, and we had to get him up there close enough, man. So
Right.
definitely.
All right, so
And by the way,
agree.
Todd Christensen was one of the first hosts of American Gladiators, bro.
oh shit,
Oh damn,
That's what I'm
dude, that's a
saying.
fun fact right there.
Shout out to Nitro.
You know, and then again, if you're looking at it, we didn't Blanda. Okay, yeah, Blanda played for a long time. You're looking at he played in the AAFL, he played in the original NFL, and you know, so he didn't play with the Raiders. He played his last years with the Raiders, which he, you know, made plays with the Raiders
Like
once
8 years.
a game.
Yeah, 67 to 75 he was with the Raiders.
Right. So he played, a couple hundred games, 150 games, or
Yeah.
close to 150, 148, something
Yeah.
like that, 45.
Yeah.
Hey, so real quick. I don't mean to cut you guys off, but I just been thinking about this for the last like 10 picks. Can we just go ahead and fucking fast forward and give 16 to Derek Carr, because we're not gonna put him above everybody else.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking, dude. Thank you for
I didn't
saying
even
that.
want him on the list when we were talking about it. Over,
someone wrote
over
him
the
in,
text
Kane.
message. I thought he shouldn't. I thought it should have been Napoleon Kaufman.
Okay, and it was
you remember, so.
either Carr or it was fucking Pryor.
No,
So we're like,
Kaufman.
I guess
Kaufman, not
Yeah, it
Pryor.
was Kaufman.
Oh, my bad.
sorry, but Tyrell Pryor is not gonna fucking get on this list after one 99-yard run, bro. 'Cause that's all that
Derek
motherfucker
Carr
Hey,
did.
but
didn't
someone
make
wrote
this
his
list,
name,
in
my
my
guy.
opinion.
Derek Carr owns 2 Raider passing records.
Yeah, man. Regardless of how we're feeling about him, and you know, we're not fucking Derek Carr haters over here either. But on this list, Derek Carr, I'm sorry, bro. This is a fucking legendary list, and we're still waiting for you to become legendary.
All right, so you're gonna put Derek Carr below Charlie Garner on
Yep.
this list. You're gonna put,
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we got 11 Christensen, 12 Blanda, Derek Carr 16, and I think a lot of that is to be continued also for Derek Carr, because to be fair, and I've been hard on Carr lately. Okay. Yes, Vince, Derek Carr made it over Napoleon Kaufman. We had this conversation off air. While Kaufman was a fan favorite, when you really look at the accolades and you really look what players did, Derek Carr came in, much like Rich Gannon, came into this organization during a very dark time,
Right.
and gave this fan base hope. So much so that it's the number one polarizing figure in Raider Nation right now.
Did he give you hope, or did he give you one good season?
He gave people
I mean, he
hope.
gave you hope with one good season, bro.
There it is. He gave you hope for
Okay.
one
He
good season.
gave you hope he gave you one good season, man. He didn't give you hope.
And down the
Are
stretch,
you still hoping?
and
But
down-
listen, real
hold
quick,
on,
real
stop.
No,
Stop.
are you still
Stop.
hoping?
Stop. No, but we're not talking about that right now. I already said.
I'm just saying.
All right. Let me finish my point.
Go
that I
for it,
was
go
getting at.
for it.
So much like he gave this organization hope, like Gannon, he failed to hold up the tent like Gannon did. Right, that fell flat soon after. But down the stretch in 2015, we were all in here talking about. I think we found our franchise
Yeah,
quarterback.
absolutely,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And in 2016, we felt
Like
justified.
he was there. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
before falling off, before this entire team fell off a cliff, and this entire organization fell off a cliff in 2017. So, let's give Derek Carr some respect. I know we're real cold on him right now, but he's on the list at 16, and there's people in the chat saying he shouldn't even be on the list. Well, you know what? You shouldn't have voted him in.
And as a matter of fact, hold on real quick. Let's even reset this even further back, because part of the reason why we had to figure out whether or not we were going to keep Derek Carr or Napoleon Kaufman on this list is because I looked at this fucking list and I said, these motherfuckers didn't elect Cliff Branch?
Yep.
Some of y'all were being real fucking funny, throwing out AB and all these other
Jamarcus
fucking
Russell.
all these other scumbags. You guys thought you guys were being funny, throwing out these fucking votes for shit ass players, and you fucking forgot to elect one of the greatest Raiders of all time. And you're lucky that I fucking overlooked this list, and I said, what the fuck happened?
Straight out. Proofreading
God
the list,
damn.
man.
He should have been with the big nasty.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, man,
In my opinion,
I'm just saying,
Branch
dog.
is
Y'all
the
lucky,
only Raider
bro.
to play in all 3 Super Bowls.
I'm lucky, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
All right, so let's fill this in. We got lucky number 13 up next. You got Mark Van Egan, Kenny King, Charlie Garner. I want to give the 13 to Kenny King right here. He caught a very
Kenny
important
King.
first touchdown in the Super Bowl. Got that game rolling. Kenny King comes out, catches that ball out of the backfield. The Eagles don't know what hit them. They're like, Kenny King? We were not prepared for that.
Yep.
So I'm going to put Kenny King at 13. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm down with that.
All right. And then I want to put Mark Van Egan at 14 because that dude was a bruiser.
Yeah.
That guy played with physicality. Again, another Raider name that's
I
been
met him
overlooked.
when I was like 8 years old.
Tell me about that experience.
The Raiders used to play the 49ers in a basketball game for the local fans.
I remember
so we used to have book sales and shit like that at the school to win tickets to that game. And I sold the most books because my grandfather was a Raider fan, so he took all the tickets to work, sold all the tickets at work, and I got tickets to that game. And my grandfather took me in, and after the game, I met Mark Van Egan and some other players. It wasn't really really famous, popular, but he was one of the players that that you recognize that I met. I can't remember the other guys. I met quite a few of them, but he was the one that stands out. Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
That is cool. I got Swerve and Mervin's
You guys don't
autograph.
remember the Raiders and the 49ers used to play games every year?
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's how I got Swerve and Mervin's autograph. Is at one of those games. They played right here at Gilroy High School.
Hell yeah.
That year,
That's
yeah.
dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Did you streak?
I did not streak. No, I did not streak. No, and Mervin was fully clothed when he signed that piece of paper. So yeah. Hey, sorry, Blitz Chick. I know that's a sensitive
For
topic.
a long time, he was my favorite Raider.
Yeah.
So I definitely he should be next. Yeah, just those memories I got from that as a kid.
Just so you know, we asked the hard questions over here.
Yeah. So Mark Van Egan at 14, which places Charlie Garner at 15 and Derek Carr rounding out that list at 16. So that's what it is right now. Let's read through the list in order, and then I'll set this bracket, and I'll let these guys talk to you, and we'll preview the matchups that are coming. So Tom Flores, Cliff Branch, Kenny Stabler, Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson. Stop right there. That is a squad. Jim Plunkett, Freddie B., Tim Brown, Darryl LaMonica, Rich Gannon, and then rounding it out, Todd Christensen, George Blanda, Kenny King, Mark Van Egan, Charlie Garner, and Derek Carr. That is very strong. Before I get off of this right now and put these guys into the bracket itself, let me preview next week's list so we get you guys thinking about
There we
that.
go.
Talking about that. Next week's list is defensive playmakers and then some. We got some randoms in here for sure. This is probably the most random category we have.
But you gotta bear with us because we had to find a place for some of these guys.
Yeah.
We couldn't leave them off the list completely.
So Nnamdi Asomugha, there's no particular order. Nnamdi Asomugha, Sebastian Janikowski, obviously not a defensive playmaker, but hey, needs to be on this list. Skip Thomas, Willie Brown, the great Charles Woodson, Mike Haynes, George Atkinson. This is a controversial one. Bill Romanowski didn't play very long for the team, but definitely a Raider by nature. Eric Allen is on this list. Also another guy didn't play long for us, but played his heart out. Shane Leckler, the great Ron Wolf, who y'all left off this list. I had to add him in my damn self. Jack Tatum, who's probably my favorite Raider of all time. Lester Hayes, Ray Guy, and Eric Turner. And for some reason, actually looking at this right now, Che, Cliff Branch was in there. So I got to take him out because we found a place for him. And the guy I want to put in over here who does not belong, unless I'm wrong, unless you want me to not put him in there, is Don Mosbar. This is a guy that the chat's been clamoring for.
Yeah, that's true.
He did not get voted in. So right now I'm penciling him in here unless you guys change my mind. And then Eric Turner rounding out that list. There's going to be some names that we missed. This last week is your final chance to lobby for a guy to make this list and boot somebody out. There's guys that can get exited from this list. Eric Turner, rest in peace, could not make this list. Eric Allen could possibly not be on this list.
Oh, man.
Bill Romanowski could possibly not be in this list. If you guys give us some names better than those names, we will pencil them in. Well, I'll make an exception because this category is so random. Okay, I just put Don Mosbar in there because for some reason Cliff Branch ended up over there. But so once again, we
Did
got
Larry Brown make the list?
Larry Brown did not make the list. You could talk to John Gruden about that.
You know who I'm talking about. Don't play.
Yeah. No, I know. So that's the list right now. I'll tweet this out earlier than I did with today's list. I put that out today. I'll put this list out tomorrow so you guys can talk about it and tell us what's wrong and what's right with it, and lobby for some new candidates.
Real quick, because your boy Kane was on here last week and he was talking about Terry McDaniel. Is there somebody?
Right.
Is there somebody on that list that we would want to take off for Terry McDaniel?
Let's do that right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's do
Let's
that
go
right
through
now.
the list again. Go through it one more time. I can give you a few names that shouldn't be on there.
I'll give it to you right now. Here we go. Nnamdi Asomugha, Sebastian Janikowski, Skip Thomas, Willie Brown, Charles Woodson, Mike Haynes, George Atkinson, Bill Romanowski, Eric Allen, Shane Leckler, Ron Wolf, Jack Tatum, Lester Hayes, Ray Guy, Don Mosbar, and Eric Turner.
If I had to take somebody off, it'd probably be Mosbar or Turner. It sounds like they barely made the list. If I was going,
I'd take Turner off.
I mean, I
Turner,
think Terry
yeah.
McDaniel should be on that list. I watched a lot of LA Raider football in my 20s, early 20s, and he was pretty tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pretty solid. As one of the most solid, because we had James Trapp and Terry McDaniel. I just think going back to
And Albert
the Al
Lutz.
Davis years and all the sick corners we had, that Terry McDaniel was a pretty good cornerback.
So we're gonna put him
really
in.
good ones.
We're gonna put him in there because you've been lobbying for him. And Raider Rude just texted me, and he said the two guys that he would have in there would be Terry McDaniel and Van McElroy, which is a good pull. That's also a good pull.
Ooh, Van McElroy, he went deep. He went hard, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta put. We used to. Yeah.
So
Van McElroy got to be on that list.
we're in agreement, right? Turner for McDaniel.
Yeah. You
Right.
want it?
Yeah.
You got access to that over there, right?
I think we gotta
And
put.
then what? Mosbar for McElroy.
I don't know about that.
No, I think Mosbar's got to stick. I think he's got to stick.
I know Mosbar was a center for 20 years after what? He came after what? Otto.
Yeah.
Or it was a little bit of, it was a period, like what, 5-6 years in between. Then we got Mosbar, and he rolled with us for like 15 years.
I think Mosbar came right after Otto, but I could be wrong on that. I could be very wrong on that.
I think he
I
came
could've
after
sworn-
Otto.
I could have
He was
sworn
pretty solid.
Mosbar was rolling with us into the 90s, bro, or
Yeah.
like at least late.
Yeah,
80s.
he was here for like
Well,
20
he was
years.
there for a
Yeah.
while. That's why.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think Barrett Robbins was only like the fourth center in Raider
Yeah.
history at that point.
That sounds about right.
I
mean, just for that reason alone, right? For that kind of longevity, because we already know that the center position doesn't get the accolades, doesn't get the fucking recognition that it deserves. For somebody to fucking play for 20 years,
yeah.
I mean that's.
Yeah, I think he won a Super Bowl too.
There you
In
go.
'84.
There you
And
go. That's
and
an
he
accolade
wasn't
in
a
itself.
kicker, dude. Because normally people that stick around that long are like kickers or
Right,
punters or whatever.
right.
So
Actually, centers do play. Centers can give you 20 years. What's the Jets center that just retired a couple years ago? He played for like 20 years. Centers can give you a longevity. Centers and guards play a long time.
But it ain't easy, and it's not easy to keep your position as a starting fucking center, bro. You know what I mean?
All right. So right here,
Yep.
let me give you the matchups that we're going to be coming with here. Let me plug in 16. All right. So when we finally get into the voting, this is what you're going to be seeing from this bracket. In the first matchup, we got Tom Flores versus Derek Carr. You got Tim Brown versus Daryl LaMonica. I was wrong about Tim Brown versus Freddie B. That's not how the bracket shakes out. It's 8 versus 9. So Tim Brown versus Daryl LaMonica, Bo Jackson versus George Blanda, Marcus Allen versus Kenny King, Jim Plunkett versus Todd Christensen. That's a tough one. Kenny Stabler versus Mark Van Egan, Fred Belinikoff versus Rich Gannon. That's a good conversation.
Yeah.
It seems one-sided, but I think it's a good conversation. And then finally,
Marcus Allen versus Kenny King ain't even fair.
yeah, no. and then finally, you got Cliff Branch versus Charlie Garner.
Ain't even fair.
So, and then, like I said,
Shit.
Cliff Branch versus Charlie Garner. So, as tough as this bracket was to rank,
Oh, that ain't even fair.
No. So
Oh shit.
as tough as this bracket was to rank, I think this first round of
It's
this
gonna pan out pretty quick.
is going to pan
Yeah.
out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
saying Derek Carr isn't gonna make it to the next round?
Oh, damn, Derek Carr shouldn't make it to. Yeah, well, okay. Anyway,
Shit.
people say, you know, some people we know from the blog say we shouldn't be bashing Derek Carr on air, and we should be
Fuck that. Hey,
supporting
listen.
our quarterback, and you know, he's a Raider, so we should. Let me just say something to that real quick. If Derek Carr is a quarterback, you think I'm not gonna be a Raider fan? You know what I'm saying? But does that make me have to say I want to hold on to his hand and carry him through the flowers? No, I'm not. I don't want to do that. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? But if
Yeah.
he starts next year, if he's a Raider in Las Vegas, obviously I'm a root for him. I'm a Raider fan. I'm a root for whoever they put on the field. If they put anybody on the field, I'm a root as a fan for my team to win. But I'm gonna be critical of them if they don't. That's just a part of being a fan. And if I have a platform to do it on, then guess what? I'm going to do it. And that's just how it is. So if people don't like that me or Che or Kenny or Bobby or any of us are on air trying to smash this dude, it's not like that. It's like play better and you get better feedback from this panel. Until then, that's what you get.
But bro, listen.
It's just that simple.
Facts.
If you want us to fucking make excuses for Derek Carr, fucking tune into the last season's show, bro. Okay? Because we were making excuses for him for the last two seasons, 2017, 2018. That's all we did.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're mad at us for fucking keeping it real with you guys, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Hey,
there's a lot of fucking. I'm sure there's somebody out there that is gargling on fucking Derek Carr's nuts that'll fucking make you feel good about fucking your take on Derek Carr, but that ain't us. We're gonna keep it real with you, and we're gonna fucking tell you, listen, we're not liking what we're seeing, and I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
If you want to get on fucking Twitter and talk shit to us, go ahead. I ain't mad at you, and I'm not gonna be hurt by you either, man. You ain't offending me at all.
You do nothing but a disservice to yourself by lying to yourself,
That's
by not
right.
actually confronting the facts. It doesn't mean that you're a hater. It just means that you're a realist. That's all it is, man. There's nothing wrong with actually looking at the facts straight out and being like, hey, you know what? As a business move, this investment just isn't working out.
It's not.
Let's go ahead and see what else we can work with.
You know, and when we were apologizing for Derek Carr, we were catching heat for that too. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I said it once before on the show. I'll say it again. It's controversial. You know, Derek Carr's cock tease. You're going to get him in the room, and, you know, he's going to pull down your pants. He's going to get you excited, and you expect him to suck your dick. Well, the joke's on you because you might just end up sucking his. And
It's the old 68, right?
the old 68, bro. 68.5.
He owes you one later, right?
Yeah. You know. So
Well, that was a message to all the Kardashians out there.
yeah. You might end up sucking his.
Oh man.
You know, so but to be fair, the history books are not complete on Derek Carr yet. We will wait and see how that all pans out.
Absolutely
But for right now, this group, we remain critical of our
Hell
shot
yeah.
caller. So, you know, we'll wait and see. I think everybody in this room agrees that we want to see the Raiders win by any means. And if that means Derek Carr, well, then that means Derek Carr, you need to step up to the plate in Las Vegas. When that Luxor light is shining bright in outer space, you know, how bright are you willing to shine standing right next to it? So a lot of competition out there. All eyes will be on you next season if indeed you are taking the field for the Raiders next year. And, you know, we'll see how that pans out. But Kane, man, thank you for coming on here and helping us get through this tough task today of ranking these 16 players. A lot of great conversation, a lot of great memories came out of it.
Oh, yeah, man. I can't wait till next week. It's going to be fun, man. It was good talking to y'all like every week. I will talk to y'all next week.
All right, brother. You stay safe, and go Raiders.
Go Raiders. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.
All right, with that, thank you. I needed that. With that, excuse me. I need to take a break. I need to go see a man about a horse. And when we get back, we have your callers. We got a robust caller segment, so it's a good time for a break.
Yeah, boy.
I think we all deserve one. I get some more water in my bottle as well. So we will see you on the other side.
Yeah.
We got you.
Peace. That was fucking awesome.
Fucking Razor Roo, dog. Fucking guy killing me, dog. Fucking Roo. Oh man, I gotta take a piss.
77. There's always someone out there for you, bro.
La Parquita.
La
Eh.
Parquita.
I wonder if La Parquita knows when we're talking about it, dude.
Cállate, güey, porque está escuchando ahorita, watch.
Oh shit.
Watcha.
Where's el chacal,
Fucking
bro?
burner accounts.
Where's
What's good, yo? Man, this is a good show. I hope you guys are fucking enjoying it. We're having a good ass time over here.
Hey, was it me or did that fight last night? Did Wilder come out looking like El Chacal or was it just me, dog?
Like a fucking fancy chacal?
Dude, that's what I thought, dude. I was like, yo, this is El Chacal right here, dog. Like all he was missing was Don Francisco in the back dancing with like a different hat, and it just making it happen, dude.
Bro, I fucking miss fucking Sábado Gigante, bro. That was one of my favorite fucking shows to watch, bro. No joke.
Bro, it's like watching the Weather Channel, like on like Telemundo, bro.
Yeah. All the fine ladies on. No, listen, man. He had probably the best variety show ever created, bro. Think about it. And longest running too, bro. Fucking Don Francisco, bro. Sábado Gigante, dog.
I thought he was Mexican for the longest time, dude. Hell yeah. I thought he was Mexican. Turns out he was a Chilean.
He was. Yeah. No, but that's bro. But he was a man of the people, bro. He was a
really
man of
was.
the world, bro.
He was.
I don't know what he's doing now with his life. I'm sure he's just living it up,
He was-
traveling, loving life.
He was Ellen before Ellen, bro. Straight out.
But
dog.
wait, but to the fucking 10th degree, bro. Like, he had he had musical acts. He had fucking funny ass shows. He had kids on his shows. He had a fucking travel fucking portion. Remember, he would go like different countries and do like reviews on the countries and the food. He did everything. Everything that you see on TV right now in little segmented shows, right? A food show, a travel show, a fucking music show. He did it all in one, bro. And it took place on Saturday night. And it went from fucking like what? It started like at 6?
Yeah.
And it went to fucking like 11 o'clock at night, bro. It was a game show. It was a game show too.
He was the Latino Howard Stern, bro.
He had a dancing competition, a singing competition. It was the shit, bro. I wish Don Francisco would come back, bro. I know he's old. He's like, I'm sleeping, dog. I'm tired over here.
Yo, I want him to be the godfather to my future children, bro. Whatever future children I have, I want him to be the godfather to them, dog. Straight out, dog. Just baptize them.
He'd be gifting them fucking Porsches, dog.
That's why, dog. You know what I'm saying, dog? That's why I said he was like the Latino Ellen, bro.
He was, though.
But way funnier.
But way funnier.
Way funnier. Man, these are good. These are good, dude.
My phone just died, so
What?
I can't even look at the chat no more. I don't know why, but the chat never came up on this thing over here, and I don't want to reset anything. I don't want to fuck around. So, just keep me posted.
I'll keep it right here, dog.
There you go.
All right, you guys ready to get back?
Chill.
Yeah, boy.
All right, cool, perfect. I got 15% battery on this other phone, which is keeping track of the laps or whatever.
Hey, and we're back.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a segment, guys.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, always fucking full.
The decisions were made.
Yeah.
Decisions were made.
Like them or not.
You guys munching on some snacks?
Yeah, man. Good looking out.
Yeah, no problem. Those of you on the live stream, if you like the off-topic banter, make sure you turn into the Crow's Nest podcast. It happens occasionally.
Yeah.
It's not a weekly show.
Yeah.
It's a special occasion.
But there's plenty there for, if you haven't heard it before. There's plenty there to recap. Bro.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty there to recap. I'm
and
just saying.
And I think we made a business decision.
Yes. Go ahead. Let them know.
We're going to be uploading the next Crow's Nest podcast. Will upload to this pillaging stream. So those of you that have never checked it out before, you will see a different icon. It is a different show. So if for whatever reason you see some extra content pop up in your pillaging stream, give it a chance. I will warn you, it is not safe for work. Very much not safe for work. And it is very much off topic. So if you don't like it, skip it. But give it a chance. Again, I don't know when the next episode's coming, but it's coming. So that show is with myself and Che and Polly, and more than likely Bobby will be joining us as well, as he's been in studio with us for the Pillaging Podcast here for some time. If you haven't noticed,
Hey.
Bobby's on the team, dog.
I'm just loitering, bro. I just never left. Like, honestly, it's because you never cleaned the garage, bro. So I just like hid behind that box that you never looked at.
Yeah.
Which I'm about to go move, because now you know about that box. So I'll have to move to the other side of the corner.
Just hide behind the jukebox, bro.
Right.
Just go hide behind the
No,
jukebox.
you know what? Behind the pool table.
There you go.
That pool table ain't moving, neither am I.
Shout out to Heidi Steiber, who's actually joined the chat now from the Ladies of Darkness and her new podcast, the Only Nation podcast with Raider Homer. So
That's right.
Welcome to the fray, Heidi. It's good to see you, sister. Let's get into this caller segment. We got a lot of phone calls lined up here for you guys. Somebody calling from overseas left us 5 voicemails.
Orale.
Ooh, nice. Dedication.
Yeah. So let's check it out. Let's start here in the 561 and let's kick it off, man. This is Omar from West Beach.
What's up, Kenny? What's up, Che? Bobby? Pillagers? Hope everybody's doing well. This is Omar from the 561 West Palm Beach, representing Raider Nation. Hey, man, just calling to touch base. Got my girl Layla barking in the background like a bitch. Shut up, baby. Listen, I mean, real quick, right? I don't know if this whole Derek Carr trolling everybody deal is as bad as it's going to get, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're going to end up with a quarterback, whether it's Derek Carr or someone else. We have to trust that the brain trust is not going to leave us high and dry with some shitty-ass plan that's not going to get us to a place where we move forward.
Hold on, pause that.
The bottom line is, I believe our best bet is Carr for at least one more year.
Okay, I heard that back end, but we're definitely going to end up with a quarterback, right? I don't think they're going to throw in another position player to run a fucking quarterback. We're definitely going to end up with a quarterback. It's going to be Derek Carr or somebody else.
Okay.
Maybe a free agent. Maybe a draft pick. Maybe both. We're going to end up with at least 3 quarterbacks, if I'm right.
Maybe.
It's very possible. There's going to be 3 quarterbacks on this team. We know Gruden likes his quarterbacks. He likes to keep as many of them as he can.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be a few here.
Could be Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be an XFL player.
No.
Could be Bobby.
No.
Could be Bobby.
He do love giving them nicknames out, dog. Peter Man. Glenn On.
You know Mike Glennon. No, listen, man. Mike Glennon is a thing of the past, and thank God for that.
Neck.
And Nathan Peterman, you're pretty close. I don't know what the decision's been made on you yet, but I see your end with the Raiders. The Raiders coming real soon. There will be a quarterback.
Shout out to me last preseason, lobbying for Glennon to get the number 2 spot.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, we put ourselves on blast here. Lest you think we didn't.
I really like Mike Glennon because he's more a prototypical quarterback.
Yeah.
hey, that neck had a lot to say, dog. That's why.
It did. He was talking out that neck.
Yeah, he almost looked like a
Bring
fucking
in a
pest
rookie,
dispenser.
And hopefully that sets us straight. But if we do go out and get Tom Brady, if we do go out and do this and do that and the other, none of that shit matters. What matters is that the Raiders, the Raider Nation, we're going to have to support it. So everybody get off of your little emotional roller coaster. We're going to have a quarterback, hopefully a winning one. And we got to support the squad, man.
That's
all
right.
this bullshit on Twitter, people coming at each other, cursing each other out, second-guessing someone's fandom, that's all fucking bullshit. Either you're a Raider fan or you're not.
Right.
Shit or get off the pot.
Right.
I hope you guys have a good weekend.
You too.
Love y'all. Keep up the good work. Can't wait to listen to the show tonight. Peace out, fellas.
Peace.
Yeah, peace out, Omar.
Hey, you know what? That makes sense now. Shit or get off the pot.
Good call, Omar. Yeah, I really put my neck on the line with that Glenn intake. I really did. All right, let's go to the 4-3-5 here.
Hey, what's up, Kenny, Che, Bobby, Pillagers, Raideroo?
Yeah, boy.
So calling in my list for the offensive playmakers, and it's another tough one, I thought, and I feel bad that where I got some of the guys down, but can only do so much. But for me, number 1, Kenny Stabler. 2, Freddie Blitnikoff. 3, Tim Brown. 4 is Cliff Branch. And that one was hard for me because he's only got on this list with 3 Super Bowl rings, and I could have put him over Tim Brown. I think others might, and I won't argue with it, but he's at 4 for me. Marcus Allen at 5. Tom Flores at 6. Jim Plunkett at 7. Definitely gets credit for 2 Super Bowl rings. Mark Van Egan at 8. Bo Jackson at 9. Man, that guy, if he could have played longer, he'd have been much higher. Todd Christensen at 10. Darryl LaMonica at 11. Rich Gannon at 12. George Blanda at 13. Kenny King at 14. Charlie Garner at 15. And Derek Carr at 16. I know he's got all the quarterback records for the Raiders and everything now pretty much, but I couldn't put him higher over these guys with the way he plays, in my opinion. So he's at 16 and no chance for him to climb higher.
Thank
All
you,
right, guys.
Rue.
Appreciate it. Go Raiders.
Thank you, Rue.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
we agreed on 15 and 16, Rue.
Yep.
Let's I guess we could say that.
Oh, Rue was screaming his head off in the chat.
I saw
dog.
that. I saw
You
that.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah. All I kept seeing was Rue, Raider Rue, Raider Rue. I was
Yeah.
like, man, dude.
What's your excuse this week? You didn't have no salsa?
Yeah, well, to be fair, Rue's the historian of this
Yeah,
whole
he
clan.
is.
You
Yeah,
know,
he
Rue,
is.
Rue knows his Raider stuff, and he's proved that to you
Facts.
in multiple occasions in multiple ways. So, respect, Rue. Again, we could do this whole ranking thing again tomorrow, and it's going to wash out differently.
It's true.
Definitely
This is
a tough
true. This is
category.
true.
So, appreciate the call. Very good list. Very good list. Let's just copy his list. Fuck all the work we just did. Let's go out to the 719. You know who this is. It's a Raider with a mean streak so nasty. He earned the nickname Hardcore.
Yo, what's up, Pillagers? Kenny, Che, Kane, Bobby Wasabi, man. What's going on? This Hardcore Raider coming at you, man. Hope you guys are having a good night.
Hell yeah.
Just want to, ask you guys a couple questions here.
Okay.
First up, do you think it's even possible that the Raiders can get a second-round pick for Carr? Or do you
I think it is possible.
It's very possible. Again, this all comes down to the QB thirst factor. It's where does that second round pick lie in the draft?
There you go.
Obviously, going to determine value. High second round pick is basically a late first round pick in this day and age. A lot of talent in this draft.
Yep.
And are we talking about this year? Or are we talking about a future second round pick too? That's another factor you have to weigh in. So I would say it's highly possible.
Well, let's look at the teams that you would assume are QB thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
You have teams like Miami,
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis,
Yeah.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Who else? Maybe the Redskins.
That's fair.
All right.
That's fair.
I mean, they drafted guy, but I don't think they're very high on him. And Alex Smith, we don't really know what's going on with him, right?
Not walking
He wants
through that door.
he wants to come back, but I don't know that he will come back.
Yeah, so did Deontay Wilder.
Oh, man.
Shots fired. Damn.
That's not a hot take. That's
That's
just
not a hot take. That's just fucking facts, bro.
It's a flamethrower, bro.
Deontay Wilder, what the fuck happened, dog?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hey, you need new coach. Yo, new trainer, bro.
Let's not get off on this.
It's
this
time to get a
tangent.
new trainer, dog. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah.
Time to get a new trainer.
Yeah.
Hit up Eddie. Fucking Canelo will help you out. Listen, but listen, man. I mean, there's a lot of fucking QB thirsty teams. I mean, regardless of how we want to look at it. And so the potential is there, man. So who would be the most likely candidate? You got Miami, who's got your boy Fitzmagic, right? Wouldn't that be a fucking shame, though? If Derek Carr got traded to Miami and got beat out by Fitzpatrick,
I mean,
that'd be a shame, right?
Well,
un-
Fitzpatrick's
unless it starts
retiring.
snowing over there.
Is he retiring?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
Well, then
yeah,
there
yeah.
you go. Well, there you go. So then he would almost be an automatic shoo-in. But how high up in the draft is Miami? Miami's what, 3?
So we're talking second round. So Cincinnati's first pick in the second round. Indy's got the second pick in the second round, courtesy of Washington. Detroit is picking third there. I wouldn't say they're thirsty. Depends on what's going on with Stafford.
But you know what though? But hold on though,
And if
because
they're trading Stafford, most likely they're trying to move up to get a guy in the first. I would think.
But
I
bro-
don't know. It's a tough call.
But bro, look. So the first round does play to Miami's decision because they're not very high, despite the fact. Oh wait,
They're fifth.
They're fifth.
Yeah.
So what lands to them in the first round could determine whether or not they're willing to fucking trade.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Derek Carr getting traded during the fucking draft
On
if
draft
it
day.
happens,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
It has
yeah.
happened
You know what I
before.
mean? I
Yeah.
could see that happening. If it happens, I could see it happening
Right.
on draft day because if Miami goes into the first round and they're thinking, we're gonna get one of these quarterbacks, and boom, Cincinnati gets a quarterback, and boom, Washington gets a quarterback, and
Yeah.
boom, the Lions get a quarterback, and boom, New York might get a quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like they're not really 100% committed to Daniel Jones, even though he fucking started this season.
Right.
Now all of a sudden Miami's looking at 3, maybe anywhere from fucking 1 to 4 quarterbacks could be gone, and that's fucking highly unlikely that 4 quarterbacks go right in a row, right? But possibly the quarterback that they wanted is not there anymore.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, you already know Cincinnati's most likely going to go up and get Burrows, but Washington drafting Tua, I mean, they take a chance on Tua there at the second pick. Yeah, that throws a major wrench in Miami's works right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. Picking 4th in the second round is the Giants. You already mentioned with Jones. They'll be in position to get a guy there at 4th, though. But here you got the Chargers, all right? The Chargers and the
6th.
Panthers.
Yep,
Chargers,
they are
Panthers, and Miami all in a row, all QB-thirsty teams.
You think the Raiders would trade Derek Carr to the Chargers?
I don't think so.
No, it's within fucking
Yeah,
division, bro.
I don't think so.
I don't see that happening.
But I could definitely see him sending him to, like, Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then what do you do? Like, so Carolina. So I mean, so then I think obviously we're assuming Derek Carr gets traded. We're picking up a free agent, right? And we already speculated about the potential of certain quarterbacks. But you also have a Cam Newton. Then
Yeah.
if Carolina trades for Derek Carr, Cam Newton's tenure there, and I think it's already been decided that his tenure there is done.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden Cam Newton becomes available.
Yeah.
Now you got maybe Gruden sees Cam Newton as a potential guy.
No, I don't think
I don't
so.
see it. I don't see
That's
it. But I'm just
stretch.
saying it's there, right? It's a possibility, not out of the realm of possibility. Especially if they were looking at Tom Brady. Okay, let's just say if they were looking at Tom Brady doesn't leave New England. Now, who are the free agent quarterbacks? You're talking about like Andy Dalton, Phillip Rivers, Matt Stafford,
Possibly.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
It's not when you mix them up with that group.
Yeah.
It's not that far out, right? It's not
But-
that.
but what's the tag like with
you're
him?
gonna want to bring in a veteran quarterback, right? Because if you're gonna draft a fucking rookie, you're not gonna want to throw him to the wolves.
No.
But
First year in Vegas.
Cam Newton is gonna want to come with that tag though, dude.
What tag?
You swear like he's not gonna want to come over here trying to get paid.
But that motherfucker been doing nothing, bro, except fucking doing his hair and putting on goddamn bonnets,
Well,
bro.
that's why, dog. He needs that money for those fucking Lenny Kravitz scarves, bro.
Nah, bro. Ain't no one gonna give you no fucking bonus to buy some new fucking silk scarves for your fucking head, bro. Like,
Can't-
you're gonna show up and take a fucking pay cut, and you're gonna fucking play a player incentive contract for the first year at least.
Cam Newton needs to stop buying tangerine suits, put his head down, and study a playbook. Is what he needs to
Stop buying stop buying them big ass hats. Stop buying scarves. Stop buying fucking neon colored suits and fucking dress shoes that you wear without socks. And focus on football, dog.
He's hitting that Pharrell fucking.
Yeah, he's fucking looking like Pharrell
yard sale,
Williams.
dog.
And you don't even make beats, dog.
Cam
the
Newton.
fuck?
Cam Newton's got Michael Jordan's tailor.
Michael Jordan and fucking the Washington Bullets.
No, that's not true because Michael Jordan's tailor always makes his suits too fucking big.
No.
You ever notice his goddamn shoulders always look too big?
They look
bro?
big.
Basketball players' suits always look like, I know they're big dudes,
Looking like Sally Jesse
But they-
Raphael in them shoulder pads.
but they still look like. But basketball players' suits still look like they're living in the fucking 80s, right? They got their big shoulder pads.
Looking like Ricky
Those look
Lake.
like this.
Looking like Ricky Lake out there. dog.
I think my mom still has one of those types of fucking suits.
That fucking
Looking like Elaine from Seinfeld, bro.
that fucking Kings of Comedy fucking suit, bro. Looking like Bernie Mac and shit.
Looking like Cedric. All right,
Cedric's suit was pretty fucking dope in that.
So good call right here, hardcore. We're not even halfway through it yet. So good conversation. Short answer to your question is yes, it's feasible. Is it likely? Probably not. But yeah, feasible.
I think that's too rich of blood to think that if the Raiders were to trade Derek Carr, could we get a second for him? Next up, I've been getting hit up about the draft, and if I was going to go originally, I wasn't thinking I would be able to make it. Just because I wanted to go to an actual game, and I don't know if I could do both this year. But it looks like there's a lot of guys going, like Mojo, Murph, Q-Dog, a bunch of listeners, just some of the Raider Nation community that checks us all out, and so, the more people that are going to go to the draft, like people that I'd like to meet in person, like yourselves, the more enticing it is for me to want to go. I know, Kenny, you said you were trying to work something out and you had some family out there or something like that. But I just want to, get your guys' take on the draft. I've heard a lot of people are going to meet up at the Stage Door Casino. So I don't know if that's something that you'd be, interested in, but, I'd like, if I were to go, like, my preference would be, like, to have, like, all the Pillagers, First Fan Cave, Mojo, and all of us, like, kind of link up at one spot, one time.
Sounds
good. And, just hit it hard. But, I'm just curious what you guys think of that. If everybody goes solo, we may all be at the draft, but we're not going to be together, because there's going to be, probably 500,000 people there or something. So I think if it were to happen, it has to be something kind of coordinated if we want to all like kind of unite together and whatnot. But it's just kind of my initial take, if we could all meet up at one place, it makes it more enticing for me to want to figure out a way to logistically try to make it happen. But let me know what you guys think, man. I'd love to, link up with you guys, man, and kick back some cellas, have a good time, and, kick it for at least a little bit. But let me know what you guys think. And I know we still got some time before it's all said and done, but, it's going to be coming up on us quick. So if I were to do it, I have to make a decision probably sooner than later. So appreciate you guys, and look forward to the show. Hardcore Raider out.
I can't speak for the rest of the crew here, and they'll chime in a second. For me, it's a game time decision. My lady wants to go. You're right. I got family out there. We got a lot of options for housing, so it's a cheap trip. Airfare is easy to do. I just don't know as far as vacation time if I can make it. If I go out there, it's probably a one-day trip. I'm probably not there for the first round on Thursday, likely coming in on a Friday night. And to be honest, I don't really care about being at the draft event itself. It's going to be outside. It's going to be hot out there. It's going to be packed with people. If I'm coming for the social aspect, for the networking aspect, just trying to run into folks at the parties and stuff like that. And obviously, if we came out there, we will coordinate. We'll try to get everyone together. I will have a mobile podcasting rig set up so we can all get on the air and give our reactions to the first and the second day. So that would be really cool. Again, for me, I just don't know because it comes down to really vacation time that I don't have at work right now. So if I come in, it'll be on a Friday night, leaving on a red-eye plane straight after work. So, that's what it's looking like for me. I'm not sure, if you're trying to squeeze in both the draft and a game, I say it's doable because, it depends on how much money you're trying to drop out there.
Right.
For me, the biggest expense is getting a ticket to the game.
Yep.
And, as far as a plane trip where I'm at, I can go round trip for about $100. Hotel room, I'm not going to be needing to spend money on one of those. So we'll find out. I mean, I agree with you. We will definitely coordinate. It sounds like some people already got some plans working right now. I'd like to get out there for the draft. I do know that we will not be at the Cosmopolitan since Che burned that down last time we were there.
Yeah.
So,
with my fucking dance moves, bro.
That's where we will not be kicking it. And we'll not be going to the Hooters Casino. For personal reasons,
because our ladies will be with us.
That's it. And I got a straggler that may or may not still be working there. So yeah,
Oh shit!
Safety purposes.
Hey, but first and foremost,
girl tried to wipe me up real fast.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Had to get out.
You gotta watch out, Kenny Stapler, bro. He's got moves out there.
He's deadly out there, though. He's deadly in the desert, bro.
Listen, though. Listen, right now, Kenny Stabler will not have a place. He will not need a place to stay as long as I'm able to fucking get a fucking place. Okay, so I will be letting y'all motherfuckers know real soon what that availability looks like, because that would be for both of y'all motherfuckers. I'm just saying. My brother might come. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do, but if he does, we got plenty of room. We'll figure it out. We'll put it together. And then, like I said, my boy's out there. He's got a house of his own. I know you got family out there too, but I got family out there. That's my brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I tell him, no, I'm coming through with some fucking knuckleheads, and you better be ready for us.
If we throw in on food again, can we not buy 20 pounds of ground beef and that's it?
That wasn't me, bro.
I know. It wasn't you, dude.
That's my fucking nephew trying to put on weight for fucking the MLB, bro.
What the hell?
My boy was trying to fucking put on muscle and shit, so he was trying to throw back all the protein.
Yeah, but
I was like, what's up with all this fucking ground beef, bro? Like, we don't really need all this.
Yo, you had the tubes?
Bro, he had like, no, and understand. This motherfucker took like he put like 10 tubes of ground beef in the fucking cart. We walked into fucking Food Max and I said, "You go handle the fucking meat. We're gonna head over to the deli. You go handle fucking breakfast. And all that kind of shit, right?" We all split up. There was 4 fucking carts, bro. There was a lot of heads.
Yeah,
dog.
there was.
There was a lot of heads up in our fucking spot. So I sent his ass thinking, this motherfucker's gonna get some fucking hamburgers, some steaks, some chicken,
some drumsticks, some piernas.
Some motherfucker comes back with 10 tubes of fucking ground beef, bro. I said, what the fuck is this, dog?
Fucking bachelor shopping right there, dog.
Look, what is this, dog? He's like, oh, I need to fucking, put on weight. Bro, I'm not here to support your fucking...
Are we all getting drafted? What's good? Are we trying to open a Five Guys out here? What's up?
Bro, we're out here trying to have a good time, not fucking put weight on, dog. Hey. I'm trying to put on 50 pounds of muscle this weekend, dog, okay?
Look at that, dog.
This motherfucker was trying to hit fucking 500 and launch some goddamn home runs, bro.
I was trying to get your cousin laid, too. And that fell through.
Yeah, he was struggling. He struggled, bro. He was struggling.
I almost doubled up.
I don't even understand how that worked, bro.
And that's
I was
why
actually mad at him for fucking that up.
And that's why Kenny and Che are somewhat cautiously welcomed in Las Vegas.
That's it. Watch out. Count.
I mean,
we out here.
I'm sure there's a poster. I'm sure there's still a poster out there. It's like, I'm sure there's still a poster out there that say, like, look out for these motherfuckers right here. I'm just saying. Taxi cabs for sure, bro. Taxi cabs were like, look out for these motherfuckers right here.
Vegas was yelling out fucking cacao for sure.
Cacao!
We say cacao and ran away from that exploding trash can. Like, let's get out of here. Last night in town.
Battery acid all over the fucking place.
That's it.
I don't know what the fuck. That was one of those fucking those fucking Korean stores right next door. That shit, all them fucking Hello Kitties and fucking shit burnt the fuck down, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Them weird ass fucking green tea fucking Kit Kats
Oh,
mounted all over the floor.
Damn.
Goddamn fucking Dragon Ball Z characters got all fucked up. I'm just kicking facts. That's exactly what was next to that fucking trash can. I'm being serious right now.
All right,
we had a good time at that fucking hotel.
A great time, bro.
By the way, we got them for free because the same thing that you guys tune in for right here, we were spitting in the goddamn line. Dude was laughing his ass off. The bouncer was laughing his ass off, and he's like, "Y'all motherfuckers are cool." Let me just hold on one second. He wrote us fucking free passes. We got in. Us and our ladies got in for free.
$75 a head. We got in there for free.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Shit, you guys worked that bouncer, dude.
That's why you guys got to roll with fucking Kenny and Che. You guys never know.
Talk you into any situation.
Hey, well, you know what?
Talk you out of one too.
That's why I'm glad I'm rolling with y'all.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to Vegas, dude. So I'm glad I'm rolling with y'all.
We got you.
Shit,
Yeah, some true veteranos over here, bro.
Fucking hey, dog. I'm gonna come back with a rap sheet.
You come back with something, dog. Hey, let's go overseas for this next call. No transcription, so I can't tell you what's good. This actually looks like a short call. I don't know what's going on with this call. I'm interested. Great call. That was a great call.
It's just breathing.
All right, here we go. Well, let's try this one more time.
Just trying to gather his thoughts, bro.
All right, Kenny, Jay, Bobby, and the legend, Ken.
All right, yeah, it was a good call. Come on, man, bring it in. I know this is costing you money, so he may have had connection problems. This looks like it might be the call. Let's jump ahead to this over here. This looks like it might be.
There it is. There's a lot of words right there.
Evening, Kenny, Jay, brother Bobby, Wasabi, and the legend as Ken. How we doing? This is the Damaging Cooperator.
Oh, what's up, Damage Inc?
The Raider Nation of Scotland. I'll send a bottle of gin and a bag of cans of beer. So I'm on up a holiday time, and I'm absolutely fucked.
Yeah, David Inc.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else because it's the best podcast in the whole of the Raider Nation.
Appreciate you,
dog.
And I'm watching fucking the Karate Kid. The wee arseholes get a trousers shirt on. Never liked that wee arsehole. Anywho, just wanted to say, I seen your thing. I was listening to last week's podcast about Tom Flores, and I thought that was absolute bullshit. way a legend was treated, man. Absolute nonsense.
Yep.
Nonsense,
Fucking
man. To do that to the man is absolute bang out the order. Also, on the Derek Carr thing, everybody keeps banging on about. I think with the Tyson Fury fight this week, it's proved that Las Vegas is the entertainment capital.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And no matter what you think of Derek Carr, and he is our quarterback, but he's going to have to hit the ground running because it is the entertainment capital of the fucking world. So your man's got to hit the ground running, or else he's in trouble. Anyway, by the way, Football and Smoke Up Your Ass, best podcast out, best Raider Nation podcast out, for a shadow of a doubt. And I just wanted to also say that I seen Gatormouth was on Twitter talking about other fan bases and all that. But honestly, I've never seen the end of kick about fucking Scotland where fucking Chiefs shut the rest on. That's a fucking, just doesn't happen. And honestly, the amount of cool folk that have through yourselves, through social media, everybody, it's honestly, Raider Nation, definitely, world fucking wide. World wide, for a shadow of fucking doubt. And I want to give a shout out to my boys. It's not a radio station, I know, but Stuart H, the Gillis and Glasgow, Franny Craven in Ireland, loads of other folk that I could rhyme off. There's Raider Nation is well strong in Scotland, England, Ireland. Never seen a Chiefs fan like that.
Thank God for that.
Right.
Oh man, listen, your boy, man, your boy calling from Scotland, dog.
Liam Neeson up in the voicemail, bro. Damage Inc. got a very particular set of skills. And he will find you.
Hey, you know what?
I will find you.
I'd be down for Damage Inc. finding me, dog. If I'm lost, I'm going to have Damage
Fuck
Inc.
yeah.
find me, dog. He'll find me.
Damage Inc., my boy, is Schmammered calling in.
And we appreciate
and we
that.
appreciate that. That's the best way to listen to the show. When you just pillage yourself, man.
Yep.
Just pillage some brain cells.
Hell yeah. And you know, out there, man, they ain't fucking around. They go hard on the ales, bro.
Yeah.
And everything else, they're fucking. I'm sure he's hitting that scotch. You know what I mean? He's got that heavy shit, bro.
Their alcohol is on like some THC level,
No,
dude.
I know.
Like, it's way up there, bro.
Yeah, they're laughing at these beers you're drinking.
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
like, oh, chelas
Right.
con che.
They wash their teeth with these beers, dog.
Fuck that shit.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
No shit, bro.
Damage Inc., man, thanks for calling in. I know, so this is an American line, so if you're calling in internationally, you are paying international rates. So we're making jokes right now, but that's just because that's what we do. We appreciate that phone call.
Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, hell yeah.
Damage Inc. wakes up. I don't know what time it is over there, but he joins the chat. It's got to be 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning his time.
I think one day he was in the chat and he was like, it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning over here.
And-
I don't know. What time is it over there?
And he was drinking, too.
Yeah, he was drinking.
I was like,
Props to
yo,
him.
that's a pillager right there,
Yeah.
bro. It don't matter what hour it is. You get down.
Hey, Google, what time is it in Scotland?
There you go. There you go. See?
6:30 in the morning.
It's about the right time, bro.
Hey, nothing wrong with having the 6 a.m. whiskey.
No, not at all.
Hell no.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's-
I hope you work for yourself, bro.
Hey, they do it different over there, bro.
They do.
Thank you, bro.
They're happy over there, dog.
That's how they wake up, dog.
Yeah.
It's like Folgers in your cup, dog.
Hey, fill it to the rim with brim, dog. A little how you doing in the morning, you know what I mean? Hey, Damage Inc., thanks for calling in, man.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that. Keep it coming. This comes from the 408, so that's our brother right here in the zip.
Yeah, boy.
What's up, nation? It's Juice, Kenny, Kane, and our boy Che. But we can't forget the Robert Trujillo of the crew. What's up,
What's
guys?
up?
Hey, I just want to let
Shout out to Trujillo,
Robert Trujillo.
former member of Suicidal Tendencies, Infectious Grooves, and now Metallica.
There you go.
You guys know I really appreciate you keeping our bellies full during these lean times. So thanks, guys, for coming up with this greatest Raider of all time thing. I think it's awesome. You guys are doing a really good job with it. I mean, the only thing else in the news is, oh, Tom Brady's coming. Tom Brady's coming. Dude, fuck Tom Brady and his hot-ass wife. Let's move on.
Hot take, Tom Brady's wife ain't that bad, bro. She's just another girl, bro. Jag. She's a model. She got the body. She got all that, but it comes down to it. She's another skinny white girl with blonde hair. Ain't nothing that jumps off the page about Gisele Bundchen, in my opinion. I mean, I want to kick her out of bed for eating crackers, but I'm very happy with my situation right now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
If they put
Same.
Giselle and my lady next to each other, I'm walking up and taking my lady's hand, and we're getting the fuck out of Dodge. Going right back to the Cosmopolitan.
There you go.
That's right. Burn that motherfucker down twice.
I'm going to set that on fire. All right, keep it moving.
Anyway, I just was telling my dad about you guys doing this thing. It's really cool. Again, I still think that my pick is still going to be Al Davis. I think if you're going to allow him in this tournament, he's synonymous. It's just one, the other. You think Raiders, think Al Davis. You think Al Davis, you think Raiders.
Yeah.
But, you know, the conversation has been awesome. I appreciate it, guys.
And Juice makes good points right there. I mean, very likely Al Davis comes out on top in this. He's the greatest Raider of all time. Without him, there are no Raiders of all time. But this is about the journey, not the destination, right?
Yep.
Good points, Juice.
This is just the seedings. I can't wait till they actually start battling.
Yeah.
And start eliminating people. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank God you're doing the offensive playmakers today. I think a few people are going to have legit heart attacks.
Yep.
Tim Brown's name was not mentioned tonight.
Brown.
Thanks for getting that finally done. But yeah, when you think about this tournament, you know, all the people who have worked for us or played for us, we have we're second to none as far as legends in this game, legends in the field. It's been awesome just thinking about it. And I can't wait for the tournament to keep moving. Can't wait to hear tonight's show. Keep up the good work, guys. Keep it sexy. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
You know, we got to make it look sexy. Juice, hell of a call, man. All those points you made are the exact reason why we're doing this GROAT bracket, because there ain't shit else to talk about, man.
Nope.
And
nope. And anybody that tells you different is fucking lying to you, bro.
Yeah.
They on some CNN shit, dog.
Hey, on some bullshit.
So
kicking that fake news to your asses, bro.
You know, no cap. But while the other podcasts are running around in circles right now, rehashing the same old shit, and that doesn't go. I mean, you guys are doing good work out there. We're out here. We're just trying to give you something fresh and something different, something to chew on.
Yeah.
Until we get to, this is about to heat up. Next week is the combine. Ooh. And then we're going full draft also in March.
Well, not only that too, but I mean, who was it? I think it was Pete that said that he appreciated the fact of being able to hear some of the nostalgic history that we have out there, man. Because a lot of people are very short term, man.
Yeah.
They only remember the last 10, 15, 20 years or so, man.
That's
and they don't recall anything that actually was what made Raiderdom the way it is now, man.
Yeah.
Like that attitude, that culture that we have now, a lot of people don't know about that, man. So it's very important to have these conversations, man. And it's not like we're over here saying like, oh, it's Al versus, Bo Jackson or that type of thing. No, dude, we're letting it happen for everybody, man. Mm-hmm. So that everybody can actually, contribute to this conversation, because we all bring something different, man. I mean, we're over here, arguing about Freddie B, man, and how he should have been way up higher than what he was before, man.
You're absolutely right. So listen, the reason why we do this is because everyone has a fucking different opinion on the different players, right? We're all from different eras, bro. We're all from different generations.
Yeah.
And if we were if me and Bobby were speaking from honest truth, Bo Jackson would have been number one overall, right? Because that was our generation.
Yep.
80s and 90s. If you're fucking growing up watching Raiders games and you didn't have necessarily access to some of the NFL films, flicks, and shit like that, that was your guy. That was your guy. In a lot of ways, he convinced you to be a Raider fan, right? Yeah. Howie Long, too, man. I mean, Howie had a lot of presence within our generation, too. Well, all my cousins had his fucking haircut. and Bobby too.
Yep. Facts.
It was all fucking party in the back. It's all party in the back.
Hey, man.
But this is why it's so good to have this conversation, especially with Kane, bro, because Kane brings in a whole different flavor to it, right?
Yep.
Like you said, fucking Kane has that past knowledge. He's able to give you shit that he saw in person.
And that's the thing,
that
dude.
we didn't get to see in person.
In the stands.
Right.
Yep.
He's
Literally in person.
He's in the stands watching this shit happen, and he knows what these players meant back then.
Yep.
Which we can never replicate because we only have, like I said, NFL films and fucking stories from our family members to give us that knowledge. And obviously, you're always going to be tied to a player that you saw, right? You're always going to be tied to a player that you saw in person or at least on TV before a person that your uncle was talking about for fucking, how many years? Oh, this guy was the best player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know who the fuck that is, dog. But Bo Jackson, have you seen that guy?
Kane's seen a lot in person. He never saw, Mervin Fernandez with his pants off, but he's witnessed a lot of great moments in Raider history.
And that being said, if you ever did see Mervin Fernandez with his pants off, we'd like to hear from you. Call in. The number's on your screen, 408-909-PJ4.
PJ4. That's it. Oh, man. No, but thank you, Juice. Thank you, Juice. Yeah, we want to hear that story.
Swerve it, bro. Swerve it.
If you were a student at San Jose State University between the years of, no, I'm just saying. Brown.
I hope we didn't offend anybody.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I was with Sammy Quasar at UC Santa Cruz?
I mean,
at a stop sign, and we saw a pack of naked bicyclists right in front of us.
Dude, I see that all the time
You've
in Santa
seen that?
Cruz.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
It's a tradition. It happens once a year. It's a naked bike ride, which is a risky maneuver.
Well, I saw.
That's why I marked it in my calendar.
Well, I saw that on Westcliff. It was a whole
Live
bike
strong.
load of like females, and I was like, huh.
I'm coming back to this.
So what day is this? This is a day to remember.
Bobby got a reminder on his calendar. It just goes beep, and he either goes straight from work on it. He hops on the bike, goes straight to Santa Cruz, sits at the stop sign.
That's right. That's right. With sipping tea.
Yeah, so it was all people that you would never want to see naked on a bicycle, just to be clear.
It usually is, bro. I mean, usually the people that get naked in public are the people that shouldn't get naked in public.
That's right, everybody. Bobby Wasabi has gotten naked in Santa Cruz County.
Allegedly.
Those are his hefty years, bro. Those are hefty years.
5150 right there.
Oh, shit.
He put the valley in Scotts Valley.
That's Valle, bro. That's Valle.
Valle.
Facts.
Yeah. New beach stories, swinger stories, they never pan out like the way you want them to.
No.
With that in mind,
there's a lot of old people involved, bro.
Let's round out this segment with let's round out this segment with Pete.
Kenny J. Kane, brother Wasabi. What's up, baby? This is Pete. How we doing, Pillagers? So, I'm going to start this off. About last week when I called in, it was a great episode, guys. Thanks for having me on. Just so happy to be here. And I got to say, I listened to the playback of the regular podcast episode, and there was a big old delay in my call with the answering and stuff like that because I wanted to show a couple of my folk that, you know what, I get to call into a podcast and talk to Chuck because that's pretty cool.
All right. So first of all, I got to say I'm sorry. When I was editing the show, piecing together, it seemed like a piece of cake. I shifted some things over, and the caller track got left in its place, and everything was out of whack. And Pete had a tremendous call, and he's saying now he was showing off his call. Now I feel double extra bad. So that's on me. I said I was going to take a shot of punishment sauce, which I don't have in the studio. But if one of y'all wants to go grab the 357,
I'll be back.
And a piece of cheese from the crisper bin.
Yeah, don't forget the cheese, bro. That's much needed.
Where's the sauce at?
The sauce is in the door. It's the 357.
All right, cool.
It's the one with the gun pointed at you.
And where's the cheese at?
The cheese is in the left crisper bean. You
All right,
give me
yeah.
one of them Baby Bell cheeses that's wrapped up.
All right, I'll
Hey,
be back.
no, you know what?
I'll be back, pillagers.
I'll take one with you, bro.
All right.
Bobby, we got to do it.
All
right,
cool.
We got to do it, bro. We're a team,
I
bro.
appreciate you guys.
We're a team over here. We got to do it. Hey, as a matter of fact, okay, this reminds me, bro. I wasn't calling you out, dog. There's a reason why I didn't place those names behind that shit. We're a team, bro. We work
are.
as a fucking team.
We are.
I was a part of all of us.
I appreciate you.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
But your boy over here does a lot of work for us, okay?
It's true.
Your boy's he's producing as we speak, okay, making sure everything's in check. And then that's right. And then at the end of the fucking show, he's got to get himself together. He's got to get himself composed. We're having a good ass time. We're having good conversations. We're fucking dapping each other up, and we're fucking happy that we just wrapped another show. And he's got to fucking compose himself enough to get everything edited and fucking out to you guys in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I didn't fucking put that on you, dog. I wasn't trying to put that on you, dog.
I'll just play with you.
I wasn't trying to put that on you, dog. I just want to say that, man.
You know I got to play the heel. I'm the heel on this show.
You do, man. You like the fucking best WWF fucking wrestler of all time.
I'm the Ted DiBiase of this podcast. Here he comes.
Where's fucking Zeus at, though?
All right, show the camera. What we're working with.
Shit.
So those of you that have never tuned into the Crow's Nest podcast don't know about this.
Son of a bitch.
357,000 Scoville units.
Remember what I said, Bobby.
On this bottle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Remember what I said, dog.
That's right. That's right.
Do not try to get through this quickly.
All right.
It doesn't work that way.
Pete, we're gonna get to the rest of your call, but
Yeah.
because
hopefully we fucking don't cough and throw up all over while you're speaking, bro.
because I did this to you, it's only right that I listen to and respond to your call.
And, hey, we're
under
all
the-
gonna show the dab too, right?
Under the influence of 357,000 Scoville units of ghost pepper sauce.
Just for you, Pete.
And this is a real deal. Now, Scoville units are a bit overrated. Those of you that watch these hot sauce shows and whatnot, they're a bit overrated. It's all about how the pepper is incorporated into the sauce and so forth.
But this is no joke.
And different peppers have different tendencies. And this one, I will say this sauce is delicious. It tastes really good, but it kicks you in the face and it doesn't stop. It's pretty unrelenting. But on the Crow's Nest podcast, we take a dab of this hot sauce every time somebody crosses the line, and I'm somebody. That's who I am. I'm somebody.
We got zero backup too, bro. So we're handling this. There's no beverage.
Oh,
There's
you
no
guys are-
beverage left, bro.
You guys are dry.
Oh, yeah.
There's no beverage left, bro.
I think I have coffee back there.
Let me see. Yeah, you do have coffee.
Guys, when we pour this bottle
Hold
out, there's no stopper on this bottle. It is a wide open bottle, so be careful.
Shit.
But there's no half stepping on this show either. So
No, stop it.
we're gonna do about a dime size dab on each one of these cheeses.
I mean, we're not dropping dimes, but we're dropping dabs. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, snap. This thing.
I got a little bit of water in here.
This thing looks scary as hell, dude.
I will wait for you guys. When I look at hot sauces, a lot of times you get a bright red sauce. It looks hot. It's not hot. The good mark of a hot sauce is the chili will turn it brown. And this is what you've seen here. It's more of a maroon color. It's a brownish, rusty red color. If you guys are seeing that on the camera, I hope you can see that. Put it right there. So this is a real deal. This doesn't look like a whole bunch, but it is hot. I love hot food. I'm a big fan of hot sauces. I can take this. Does not mean it's not going to hurt.
Salud.
And it's going to hurt again later.
This is gonna hurt a lot. This is gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah,
I got more
Cheers.
than you motherfuckers.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be wiping with ice cream later.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's not a fucking Hershey Kiss, bro.
Bam.
It's fucking salsa.
All right, here goes.
So here we go, Pete. This one's for you.
And I want to say I completely blame myself. I was in my office, which is in a basement with concrete walls, and I had y'all on speakerphone when I called in so I could hear you guys better, and I think that's where that delay came from. By the way, brother, what's up?
Nope, it's on me.
My bad, boy. I'm sorry I couldn't hear you, dude. I'm going to try and concentrate harder next time, try to pick up a little bit, maybe have the live stream going. Anyway, now on to Raider news. Now on to other stuff. So, I got something to say. This is about this, so to say, quarterback controversy There's stuff going on, cryptic tweets, trades. Apparently, one Mister who wears number 12 and likes to kiss boys that plays for New England isn't going to come visit any locations for signings and free agency. There's a lot of speculation. God bless all the creators on YouTube that have been diving into this. And you know what? A lot of ESPN, a lot of Fox Sports, everybody's getting into it, man. And I'm going to tell you, by the time the dust is settled and free agency's over and the draft is done, and we...
You boys all right over there?
Hiccups.
You guys doing okay?
I think I'm crying. Oh, shit.
Come on,
This
let's
ain't
go.
cool.
Let's go.
finally have a clear picture of what's going to go on into 2020, I will probably have moved into a rural cabin in the Northwest, okay, with a manifesto written in elk's blood on a wall about how I hate this off-season bullshit. I'm sick and tired of it, man. I'm done. Like, it's just like I got to tune out every once in a while. Here I am talking about it, but all I got to say is this, and this is me coming out and just a little speculation. Remember last year? Remember the report, the Bleacher Report I had about how we were shopping Derek Carr at the Combine? Remember?
Hold on.
I'm crying here.
Oh.
Really?
I think I drooled on myself.
Oh, man, Bobby is glistening right now. Bobby looked like a Twilight vampire. Careful with that water, man. Could make things worse.
I haven't even gotten there yet, dude. My fucking nose is running like a son of a bitch.
Go blow your nose, Bobby.
Oh, I'll be back.
You let it fly if you have to, bro.
Oh, damn. I can't even.
You okay, Che?
I'm hanging in there, dog.
I was hitting you, huh?
Hey, you got some extra water you want to share over here? I just had like a drink, bro.
Here you go. All right, let's get back
This is rough.
to Pete. Pete's got a good call cooking right now. You're getting this, right?
Yeah.
All the Kyler Murray stuff, all of this stuff, that stuff, everything else. The more I look into it, the more it all feels the same from last year. Now, I'm not saying this is a Derek Carr apologist. I'm not saying this is someone who doesn't want Tom Brady around. And I'm, quite frankly, really warming up to the idea of drafting a quarterback. But damn it, are we just getting played again? I feel like I've seen it before, man. Like, oh, man, it's just, I don't know. And we talked about last week, $30 million, $35 million a year for a punk-ass old man. Can I have two linebackers and Derrick Henry, please? Instead, Robbie Anderson, can we franchise tag Carl Joseph, which is something I haven't brought up. But completely, like, that's where I'm heading with all this. Like, the more I listen to it, the more I'm just like, man, get the fuck out of here.
This call continues. Really quick, let's pause. There's a lot to unpack here. Are we getting played again? More than likely we are. I had mentioned that as a possibility when we first brought this up. Is this all just a leverage play for Tom Brady to get the money that he wants in New England? More than likely it is. You know, Bob Kraft says, you want that money? Go out and test it for you. Let's see what you can get. Tom Brady's going to get those offers. Here it comes in my nose right now. Tom Brady's going to get those offers. He needs to go back and stay in New England. More than likely. I mean, that's where he's had his success. I just don't see a guy on his way out wanting to start brand new for just 2 years. You know, just 2 years, just to mentor somebody and get the hell out of the way. I think, Tom Brady wants to put the nail in the coffin. I think he wants to show that he's not done yet. I think his best chance to do that is right there in New England. Whether or not New England wants to hamstring themselves with that money remains to be seen. If they do so, it's short term. You're looking at 2, possibly 3 years.
Kenny J. Kane, brother Wasabi. What's up, baby? This is Pete. How we doing, Pillagers? So, I'm going to start this off about last week.
Let's pause that really quick. This show is so long, we just looped around to the front.
Yeah, we're looping around to the front, too, over here.
This is me coming out and just a little speculation.
I think he wants to show that he's not done yet. I think his best chance to do that is right there in New England. Whether or not New England wants to hamstring themselves with that money remains to be seen. If they do so, it's short term. You're looking at 2 years, 3 years possibly, and then they're free and clear of that. And New England's got a lot of needs themselves, but I think, Occam's razor. The correct answer is usually the most logical one. It's the most direct line. more than likely Tom Brady stays in New England and he's just playing everybody to try to get that money there in New England. More than likely. As far as bringing in, I mean, again, a lot to unpack here. As far as bringing in Derrick Henry, I don't see you doing that. You got Josh Jacobs in there. It doesn't mean that wouldn't be the most lethal 1-2 punch in the league. You know, Derrick Henry is going to be commanding some money, especially after last year. That was just straight historical. So, do you want to weigh in on this, Che?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. As far as Derrick Henry goes, bro, I don't see Tennessee letting him go. I think they're gonna resign him. Derrick Henry very well should have been this guy fucking 2 seasons ago, but the coaching staff in Tennessee just decided to keep playing fucking roulette with the fucking running backs over there. Derrick Henry was a number 1 pick coming out of Alabama, right? Back when he got drafted, and for whatever reason, they just would not give this guy the ball. And anytime that they actually committed to him, and which was like once every fucking 4 or 5 games, the dude would tear it up. So this is not a shocker that he had this season when they finally actually committed to running the ball consistently with Derrick Henry. So I don't see why Tennessee would let him go. I think they're gonna throw fucking money at him. They got Tannehill. I don't think he's commanding very much money. He's not going anywhere anytime soon either. They feel confident in his play. As a second, right? He was the backup to fucking Mariota to start the year, so he's not getting paid a lot of money. So I think they're gonna be they're feeling very confident to keep him.
How you doing, Bobby?
What's the question?
Question is, how are you doing? Chad's very worried about you.
Don't worry, Chad. I was officially. Goddamn.
Welcome to the fucking Pillaging Podcast, Bobby.
Now, to be fair, Bobby's tried that sauce before,
but not like this.
Not like this.
No, I give you a very small taste.
Oh man,
no, that tip didn't help, bro.
I try to take my own tip, bro. I told you, chew for as long as you can.
I did,
but I was chewing, I was swallowing some of it too, and I got the hiccups right at the beginning, and that's how I knew I'm about to be in for it. I'm about to be in for it because the first time we tried on fucking Crow's Nest, that's what happened. I tried to get through it too fast. Thought I'm gonna get out of this real quick.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nah.
That shit sticks with you.
Yeah.
I'm both sober and high at the same time, dude.
The safe play is to keep it in your mouth as long as possible.
Yeah.
And you told me
that's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what Derek Carr said.
That's what she said. But no, the second time that I tried it on Crow's Nest, that's what I did, and it helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
It's still hot.
Helps you in the back end too.
It still sucks in the mouth, right? Like you're still fucking just burning up, but it doesn't fuck you up in your throat and in your chest as much.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you fucking reflex in your gut.
I can barely open my eyes, bro.
Right now, you can hear the mocos. I'm fighting back right now. I'm starting to fucking feel my taste buds again.
Nah, it's gone for me.
But thank you, Kenny, for fucking hooking me up with some extra water because that wasn't needed.
You're welcome. Yeah. I got more over here too. Those of you listening to the live version, we had a technical hiccup right there. The podcast looped around at the beginning because it's a long show, and then the other part of that too is I lost the place on Pete's call. So let me find that place again. Sorry for fucking up 2 calls in a row, Pete. But we'll get right back to it. And then Che, you were making your point. Go ahead.
I mean, you have to reset me on the take because I got the back half of that because I was struggling over here, man. I hit you with the Derrick Henry point, but what was the main point of that? What was he speaking on? Sorry about that.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, fuck it.
Come visit any locations for signings, and I'm done. Like, it's just like I got to tune out every once in a while. Here I am talking about it, but all I got to say is this. And this is me coming out and just a little speculation. Remember last year? Remember the report, the Bleacher Report I had about how we were shopping Derek Carr at the Combine? Remember all the Kyler Murray stuff, all of this stuff, that stuff, everything else? The more I look into it, the more it all feels the same from last year. Now, I'm not saying this is a Derek Carr apologist. I'm not saying this is someone who doesn't want Tom Brady around. And I'm quite frankly really warming up to the idea of drafting a quarterback. But damn it, are we just getting played again? I feel like I've seen it before, man. Like, oh man, it's just I don't know. And we talked about last week, $30 million, $35 million a year for a punk ass old man. Can I have 2 linebackers and Derrick Henry, please? Instead, and Robbie Anderson, can we franchise tag Carl Joseph, which is something I haven't brought up, but.
You need to bring that up. You need to back that statement up.
Yeah.
Because I like KJ. I like him as a Raider. I don't know that he warrants a franchise tag. I know, PFF has him rated as like the top value free agent out there. You can argue for and against that, but to me, Carl Joseph is just too one-dimensional to hit him with the tag, unless you're just doing it as as a tool, to keep him around. I say let KJ touch free agency and see what you can do to match it. But I don't think they're going to go too high on him. They're already. I think you got to think that they're looking at safeties in this draft as well. I think they're going to keep populating that group. So KJ might be the odd man out. He's had a lot of time to stick here. Again, the injury at the end of last year didn't help his cause, even though he went out in a noble way. I don't know, but I want to hear more from you about that because change my mind on that. I think you can, Pete. And then just to answer Good Doc right now, no, we will not be taking more punishment sauce.
No, Doc, no more.
I see a lot of sympathy for Bobby. Show some of my man Che some sympathy over here. He's struggling too, but he stayed on the mic. And
yes, he did.
I do my best, bro.
Give me some love too. I'm straight hanging over here, guys.
Hey, but Kenny, without a shadow of a doubt, always takes the punishment sauce a lot better than the rest of us.
Yeah.
It's in my fridge.
Well, he's been doing punishment sauce for a long time too, man. So
I like to self-flagellate.
That's right. He's
look that up. Yeah, go ahead and look up flagellate and clear your search history.
But listen,
I would say he's a masochist, if anything.
Yeah,
but
for real.
What flagellate, yeah.
For real. But listen, back to the take. As far as the Derek Carr take goes, right? You're right, bro. Pete, I mean, it's very much like what we heard last season, right? But I think the rumor of a Tom Brady coming to Oakland is a lot heavier than a Kyler Murray, right? And so for that reason, it hits a lot harder. And not to mention, second season in Gruden's system. And another fucking season of trying to come up with excuses for why he didn't perform better.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest key here. Because you have a Gruden that was like, hey, I'm committed to the fucking Carr. If he doesn't get right, it's my fault.
Yeah.
He says that for a season. He's like, okay, let's get this scheme under your belt. Let's get you some weapons. And then let's turn the page here.
Yeah.
And then you see some things that make you say,
things that make you go,
Right.
Shut up, Freedom Williams.
And so, listen, man. I think what Gruden is seeing is what a lot of motherfuckers that are not happy with Carr is seeing too. And Gruden might just have said, okay, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
If I can't get this guy right, it's not my fault because I'm trying over here. And this guy he's just not following suit, bro.
Although we've come to the end of the road,
still I can't
let go.
Oh, no. It's unnatural.
I got him. Okay.
Oh, man.
Like that's where I'm heading with all this. Like, the more I listen to it, the more I'm just like, man, get the fuck out of here.
This to be continued. Here we go. Shout out to Raider Mikey in the chat. What's up, Mikey?
What's up, Mikey?
Talk about veterans. Yeah.
Kenny, Che, Kane, Brother Wasabi, Pillagers. What's up? This is Pete. Sorry for calling in twice this week. My bad. I rambled a little bit on the last one.
It's okay.
But, okay, so here are my top 5 playmakers in other news. Tim Brown, Freddie B, Cliff Branch.
I'm back.
So hold on, because I want to apologize for Pete right now. He had a call back, but this is great. He calls in. One call is full of a bunch of great takes.
Yeah.
Then he shifts gear. The second call is a brand new call. So as far as I'm concerned, This is a brand new call.
It's a brand new call. There's no callback. It's a fucking new call.
Pete landed one plane, hopped out. He's in another plane.
That's right.
My man is jet setting.
There you go.
Clarence Davis. And for childhood's sake, I'm going to Napoleon Kaufman. This is all me. I didn't get to look at the full list, but that's just off the top of the dome sheet. Right now, before I leave, just a little warm up. I don't know how much draft talk we're going to get into, but
Before you move on, Clarence Davis, that's a good call. Y'all didn't vote him in, though, so he didn't make the list. Again, that's not on us. That's on y'all. And Napoleon Kaufman, we talked about this off the air. This is the greatest Raiders of all time, not the greatest Raider childhood memories of all time.
Yeah.
No cap.
Yeah.
the time this play has been called. And like I said, I'm going to make it short and sweet. Round one, and this is me. I'm just saying, this is me being an optimist, figuring in some factors and seeing what's going to happen. Number 12 first round pick. A combination of either Isaiah Simmons, Jerry Jeudy, or CeeDee Lamb. Isaiah Simmons for obvious linebacker reasons. Freaking nature. Been saying it since middle of the college season. Jerry Jeudy for being the most complete route runner in the draft and what some call the second coming of Odell Beckham Jr., hopefully without the baggage. CeeDee Lamb because he's a physical freaking nature, and his catch radius is insane. Number 19 goes Javon Kinlaw. We talked a lot last week about how we would want to throw a bag of cash at Chris Jones. Well, if y'all got any time, look up Javon Kinlaw from Southern Carolina University.
Ooh,
defensive tackle, 6.
I'll have to call Ice Cold Honky about that. He's a big Gamecocks fan. CeeDee Lamb is best fit for this offense, in my opinion. And I really hope things go batshit crazy at the top of that draft and somehow, some way, Isaiah Simmons falls to us at 12. That would be fantastic.
There you go.
6'6", 315, kicked ass at the Senior Bowl so well that he didn't have to play, and just an absolute freak of nature. We would be lucky if he dropped to 19. My second 19-round pick, my second pick in 19, Henry Ruggs from Alabama, wide receiver. Now, this is a little combo I'm going with of, let's go offense first, then defense, or defense, then offense. But I'm all for drafting 2 receivers, all right? I don't feel like paying anyone. I don't know that anyone's worth a bunch of money to bring in a plethora.
They're not.
Of new offensive talent. And I'm going to throw some names at you for the third round. Goes a little something like this. So, number 1, Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor. Whooped ass. If you guys need any proof of this guy's production, go look up the Big Ten championship game. Kick ass. Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Second, third round pick. Just look up his highlights. Okay, he's a fucking tank. All right, they call him the Canadian Bulldozer. Third round pick, Antonio Gibson, running back / wide receiver, 6'2", 220, out of Memphis. There's another one. Just YouTube him. With this growing trend of Memphis running backs that are coming out, he's the next one. All right, he is the next one. Just please do yourself a favor, YouTube that. Anyways, thanks for having me on. Sorry for going too long. If I did, see y'all at 7:30 tonight. Crack that cello for me.
Hell yeah.
Gibson's a guy that Bobby brought up in the chat the other day. Memphis, that's running back university right there.
That's right.
As it is right now.
Dude, Memphis has a track of having a lot of good running backs, man.
Yeah.
They've been having, and especially this cat, Antonio Gibson, man. I mean, talk about all-around gadget player, dude. This cat is big. He's a big boy, dude. He's huge, and he can hit people, dude. That's what I'm saying, dog. Could you imagine him behind the line, dog, just running up and just hitting mother scooters, dog?
Oof.
Out the way, dude.
Out the way.
And all of that, dude, he can make it happen as far as having on the open field. Mm-hmm. He got wheels, man. So definitely, I'm still beating that drum right there, dude.
Sounds
Antonio
like
Gibson.
Sounds like a Gruden type guy. Sounds like a guy you could actually maybe break out a tight end.
Ooh, a Gruden grinder.
The Gruden grinder.
Oh shit!
You've been putting that grinder to work. Right?
I really have, dog. It's pretty resin out, dog.
Pete, this phone call is chock full. I'm gonna save this second call right here. I'm gonna download this, save it to the hard drive. We may be bringing this back up after the draft and see if you landed on any of these, and if you do, then that puts you in a contention for phone call of the year.
Hell yeah!
For the Nesty Award.
Like he needs another one, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna start archiving these calls and see what happens with them. But I'm gonna throw this out there to you guys right now on air. We've had Pete call in live. We've had Pete call in with these voicemails. We've had Pete in the chat. I think it's time to bring Pete on as a guest.
You know what?
I think we should bring him on multiple times as we get into this draft talk in March, starting next week. So, Pete, if you're available, I think we'd love to have you on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
As maybe our draft
guru.
Our draft Nick. That's it.
Ooh,
and
nice.
Because we're going to start getting into this. Again, the Combine's next week, and that's when we're going to start getting into our draft talk. I mean, I don't think there's any point about talking draft until the Pajama Olympics happen.
Hey, you know what? And I don't mind rolling up in here with my pajamas on there, just for the sake of the Olympics and whatnot. You know.
In the spirit of the Combine, we will be doing the show in our underwear next week. Special guest Mervin Fernandez on the show. Yeah, we'll be riding bikes in the studio.
Yeah.
So Pete, if you're into it, man, if you're up for it, hit us up. PillagingJustForFun@gmail.com. PillagingJust4fun@gmail.com. I have your phone number, so that's easy to do. And I will read it on air right now for everybody if they want to call you.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Not only that too, but I think Pete's gonna have to get entered into that group E.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Remember, yo, like
the collar group.
Yeah, the chat was talking about
collar
it.
Group.
Yeah, the chat was talking about it last week, talking about coming up with a group E for next time, and I was like, you know what, it might have to be.
I don't know where you guys are at, but that sauce is right about here right now for me. But
Yeah, it's calmed down quite a bit, bro.
No, that sauce is cool now. Because if it wasn't,
I still got a little.
Yo, I would have been laid out by the bathroom right now, dog. Just drinking water though off that sink, dog.
So you said you were a little bit high. The capsicum, the active ingredient there in the peppers, it has an intoxicating effect.
It does.
It really does.
People
man.
that are real chili heads, they go to it a lot for that.
Yeah.
You know, Polly's pointed out it's got almost a psychedelic effect to it. You get real hot on a chili pepper. The colors are brighter. You know, people are more annoying than they usually are. You're like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to hang on over here.
I thought I was hanging out on that Vegas net, dog, for a second, dude. I was so high, dude. I'm not kidding you, dude. I was flying off of that punishment sauce, yo.
Bobby was looking down at Allegiant Stadium, going, "What the hell happened right now?" But yeah, then after it goes, you kind of have this feeling of detox, almost like purification. So. I'm a firm believer in chili peppers. I think it adds a fourth dimension to cooking.
Straight up.
It's fun. It's fun to challenge yourself, man.
Absolutely.
It's fun to push yourself.
It's definitely like a retox, dude. Like it takes to like the fifth dimension, bro.
Fifth dimension. What is it? Afternoon Delight. Didn't they do that?
Afternoon Delight. The fifth dimension did.
No,
what the
they
fuck
didn't do
was
that.
it called? Where was it? It's what's that Sunshine song, bro?
Everybody loves the sunshine.
No.
Sunshine.
Oh, that's right.
Let the sunshine in.
This is the
That's on the
dawning-
fucking. That's on the fucking 40-year-old virgin. Fucking
At the end, that's right.
At the end,
They did. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
the age of Aquarius.
I always wanted to own. I always wanted to own an aquarium shop and call it the Age of Aquariums.
Oh, shit.
I've always wanted to have a store called Jehovah's Mattresses too, but right next to my deli, Cheeses of Nazareth.
Shout out Derek Carr.
Shout out to Derek Carr.
Man, stop giving Derek Carr ideas, bro.
Bro, it's a long ass show. I know I jinxed this earlier when I said this was gonna be a short show, and it's not.
Never.
Let's do our listeners a favor here. Let's hit these shout outs and let's get out of here.
Shout outs. Yeah.
Shout outs on Twitter. Shout out to Junebug510, LV Wrecking Crew, Jacob Dale White, Oli Raider, Quentin. Shout out to John Pinkerton. Shout out to Gregory Forrest, Mile High Raiderette, Michael Guarashi. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Guarachi.
Guarachi. This looks Italian, bro. I don't know. Shout out to
you're
Roxo
right.
Roxo.
That G makes it.
Yeah, shout out to Mail Girl, Anthony Espino, Steve Quick, Caris 96. Shout out to Nurse Tuggy. Yeah, I could go in on that one. Shout out to Lou Skunt.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ram Kieran. Shout out to Big Raider Mike. Shout out to Bull the Raider, Raider Rob, JB Raider, and Dog 127, Sneak Doggy, LA Sports Fan, DJ Lopez 510. Shout out to the Raiders Brawl podcast. Shout out to Christian, Sneak Zoner, Alex Play, Rob G, Ramblin' Raider, Lobo Raider, and Chiva Raider. One time I wanted to know who the Chivas were, and somebody said, "You're a Raiders fan, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're like the Raiders of soccer." And I was like, "Okay." I don't know if that's accurate or not.
I mean, it's kind of accurate.
I
So
don't know.
the Las Chivas, they're from Guadalajara, which is like central Mexico. It's kind of like accepted as the Mexico soccer team because they only take on players that are from Mexico.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's
a
true.
lot of the other teams in the Mexican Soccer League, they bring players from other countries and shit. Las Chivas have always been dedicated to Mexico soccer players. So
Bet.
that's one of the reasons why they represent like they
Bet. So they wear the red and white stripes?
Yep,
Is that right?
yep,
All right,
yep.
cool. And on YouTube, shout out to Kabaski, Fierce Raider 88, and Jared Riesling, which I may have shouted you out last week, but I wasn't sure, so just for safe measure. There were more follows on Twitter. Twitter's doing some weird thing right now where I try to post a multi-post chain, and it takes the last one and replaces it with the first one, or the first one replaces it with the last one. So those of you that saw your name in duplicate today, that's why. So I lost again, second week in a row, lost a paragraph of shout outs, but we'll pick you guys up next week. I did the same thing this week. So hang in there, guys. We got your shout outs. We appreciate you. Big shout out to BD Williams coming on the show.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you guys are following him. Make sure you follow him over to Just Blog Baby. That guy's a really good writer. I tried to bring him into the Raider Ramble, but he found his home over at Just Blog Baby. And nobody's mad at you, dog. You get in where you fit in. And lots of great Raiders content out there. Again, this is all, it's a democratic society. You get to pick and choose what you read, and you could read more than one website. We will allow that.
And he also chose to do a 2-minute drill, dude, which is not an easy thing, dude. Like we said before, the only cat that would be able to smash this, the only cats would be Rue and Merv.
Yep.
So
those are facts, bro.
It takes a lot, dog.
He opted in and went 20 yards, but he got some of the toughest questions tonight.
Yeah. He did. Yeah. There was a hard-earned fucking 20 yards.
And I didn't handpick those. We basically have this whole list of Raider questions, and I just picked out a chunk of them, and he just happened to get a tough chunk. Yeah. Got any IG shout-outs or next week?
No IG shout-outs today, bro. My phone fucking died over here, so I can't look at them. So if you did follow us on IG, I'm gonna fucking save you guys for next week, and I'll make sure that we have multiple options to recall those.
No problem.
Yeah, the timer and everything else, and I couldn't pull up the chat on the laptop.
The timer died.
Yeah.
The chat on the laptop wasn't showing up, so I pulled it up on my phone, and that's why I died.
Okay, no problem. Hey, no problem. But that's it for this week's show. Tune in every cast are found. Until next week, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug, and pillage on, Raider Nation. This has been a production of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Week.
By your boy Che.
And Bobby Wasabi.
We out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.